हंसला ईंधन बदला हंसला ईंधन बदला. Ladies and gentlemen, you are still not ready for this. Smell the smoke in the room. I'm the architect of chaos, you're the bringer of doom. They thought I was buried, but I grew from the dirt. Heavy as the head, yeah, I make them all hurt. Fuel to the fire, I'm sparking the flame. You're paying for the algorithm, I'm owning the game. Out of the ashes, no saint, I'm a sinner. Checkmate the board and I walk out the winner. Mera hansla bahar, meri ragon mein hai indhan. Banda meri zind mein dushmanon ka bandhan. आग लगा दी है, रोकेंगे कैसे? शेर जब उठेगा खत्म शुरू मेरा दौर खामोशी थी पहले अब शेर की है रोर आंखों में जुनून मेरे सीने में आग no looking back now तेरा सीधा तू They want a master I gave them a piece system को करूँ clash मेरी fees खून का हिसाब हर खून का वसूल जब का मेरा जो यहाँ मेरे ही है रूल टूटेगा नहीं
What's up guys, what's up? What's up? Welcome. We are game. Oh.
Insane because Vicky, if you remember, we're
सोल का पहला मैच क्या हुआ जरा देखते हैं guys. तब तक yes हाँ वो क्या बात.
Zip line mafia. The fact that they had to go from the furthest POI up on the northwestern side of things
ज़्यादा sound आ रहा है.
No wonder they acquire 9 kills. They do 3,200 damage. And it's not even like they were safe. They are just above the bottom 6.
Crazy.
If you look at the overall standings and finding yourself comfortable with 75 total points over the course of this group stage. Wanted to catch themselves in the top 14 so they could avoid the survivor stage. Or our 15 to 34 placing teams will have to play a 10-match series. This is how you start things off for Zipline Mafia. I love their rotate. I love how we were able to see the fights happening over to the south side. How they were able to rotate up towards gardens. You could see the action happening in clinic, that they were able to avoid that pile up. And honestly, that also goes hand in hand with the composition that they were rocking to.
It really does. And you even have to think about the fact that not only were they able to put on pressures for Team Vision, they had withstood against Trinity. There were so many teams. For Fun Esports at one time was sending them on to the south. But when you think about it, you have to get aggressive. And Alter, Seer, Crypto is 100% the comp to do it. So as we take a few moments and step back to our top 3 squads left, we get it from Zipline's more POV here. We swing around, we find Shubi, we end JD Gaming, and from there it's the solo to just clean up.
OMG! Welcome Fashik, welcome.
An 18-point game.
Pro streamer is key.
They know exactly what they need to do. Even JD Gaming having double-digit kills and 17 points.
Sometimes what you need is like you feel the pressure and you just perform better. And we're seeing that with JD Gaming. Even though they didn't take the dub, it's the fact that they got top 3 and 10 KP to their name. Look at the Zipline Mafia coming through, not only with that dub, but as you mentioned, to the 9 KP as well. Even Pirates. How we were talking about Pirates leading into this game off their rotate, still find themselves in a top 5 finish to kickstart our first game on Olympics.
Very true. Trinity, Enter Force 36. Teams that you don't want to see on a second page here. You want them to be acquiring points. We know Trinity was looking for those fights against Zipline Mafia and everyone in the south, but we're only able to get a placement point from that. But with the pace of this lobby, it should start playing out a lot more like scrims. That's typically how fast those lobbies run. And usually it's completely different when we get to land. You're walking into some of these end games run. It's south, but we're only Trinity don't want to see
game on still find themselves in a top 5 fitting into Zipline Mafia. The fact that they got top 3 and 10 KP to their name. Look at this, Zipline Mafia. Pirates still find themselves in a
and to be a the south should start playing. It's completely noticed zone.
It seems we and global. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, every team that we highlighted on the northern side of that rotate north of Gardens, we literally had no space to play out because the teams that were coming out of Gardens were able to harass them safely from afar.
You say Gardens, they immediately go to SAUL, and they've got their coach here, Rogers, just immediately starting to break down, hey, what could have went wrong possibly? If the circle pulls here, here are the teams you have to be very aware of. This is where they're landing. You're going to have timings. And with Ultra still in the lobby, and all of these teams that are hyper aggressive. I love how production was like trying to like zoom in on that. Like
that was so good. I'm sorry.
I love that. Bro, you looking at their homework?
Hold on. I want to bring attention to that, especially when it comes to trying to appreciate as a community the coaches and what they bring.
Everything.
For these pro teams, man. Like, for so long, we talk about it. They're waiting in the shadows, right? All the memes that have come out.
No,
you know?
I was talking to the boys at SAUL, and I was like, "Does your coach fry? Like, does he play a lot?" They're like, if something happened and he had to step in, we would literally be fine. They said that about Rogers, and I was like, that's good.
Having to break down the papers to show the homework, right? You're letting them know, right? So if this ends up being the rotate, this is what could have gone wrong. Ends up being the rotate, this is what could have gone wrong. If this happens where the zone ends up pulling towards your POI, where some teams end up struggling, what can you do differently so that way you can elevate your Evo shields? It's all these little things that play a part to what makes the grander scope of the Apex Legends Global Series, that beautiful trophy smack dab in the middle and between our teams. And what is at risk, right? Because then you have to think about the bottom 6 teams that have to look at those keys, get crushed in the crusher. It's almost like a threat that's looming right on top of them, but then you kind of have the trade-off with the beautiful trophy shining there. Other teams now getting ready to go. Talked about Gaming Gladiators earlier and how they were able to situate themselves and find that space in Clinic while still putting in pressure, but taking some of those fights on the edge is almost like a green light for the teams who do want to play a lot more safe versus the teams that know they have to get really aggressive tip to get the points that they need in the course of these next 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's already shifted substantially. It's just with one game. JD Gaming, who is in the bottom 6, no longer are they in the bottom 6. They are up to 33rd with 7 points separating them from the bottom 6. Aurora dropped down into the bottom 6. Enter Force 36 toggled a few places, but TLN Pirates are no longer in that last place slot. They are starting to work their way up, but it is going to take a monumental series. And if anyone can do it, it is definitely going to be those French team, because they are one of the craziest fighting teams. Like, I think back historically, like I'm going 2 to 3 years ago, that team used to be La Cité de France, and they were in some of the wildest Skyhook West contests. So I'm keeping my eyes out. Trinity, on the other hand, will also need a same performance like TLN Pirates, and WGR Neo is on the cusp.
It's just that there's so many teams in that later half, the bottom 10 of the overall standings, that are trying to find that race, and it's about finding that momentum early on, right? So if you know you have to get aggressive, once again, like knowing how many points you need just so that way you could go in for the survivor stage at the very least is what sets the pacing here as we get a nice little flyby Zeta Division and the plushies.
Those are so cute.
I love that. I kind of want one.
Zipline Mafia is the best. I mean, yeah, they just won.
Shout out to the fans in the crowd. I mean, we have little nuggets that have made their way here, Tiff. I know it's your favorite, too, to highlight the families that are showing their support for the players.
I love it. JD Gaming, you can see them kind of breaking some things down. Some of the highlights of the fraggers, when you kind of pair up groups A versus D, there are a couple people in this lobby that are usually the ones that are at the top with the most kills, and floating right there on the right is one of them. And with just the first game alone, responsible for 4 kills on their team and 1,500 damage. So I love to see that we're kind of staying consistent in that point, right? Because JD Gaming has not necessarily been the most consistent team, but if we put them in this group with A versus D, maybe this is what they needed.
And it begs the question as to why, right? With some of these teams that were heavy hitters in Pro League, what's going on here when you're on the international stage? Is it nerves? I mean, we're 3 days in at this point. You know what to expect. Is it being able to see a different game plan play out with the way that these international teams, if you don't have that experience, you know, playing on the big stage, and trying to find that flow, find these rotations, these zone pools, obviously, where some of these teams and their POIs don't really go hand in hand, or could it be the energy from the fans that help fuel them?
Smiley membership. वो membership क्या
I think it's the
ले
fans.
यार?
I think it's the fans. I think it's a fan and the infinite ammo craver in the hands of UGF. Let's be real. Because when we think about what game number 2 is going to look like, let's go ahead and chat really quick. We did see that crypto ban. The likelihood of the most major picks that we're going to get on our legends is going to be Seer.
It's important when we keep seeing crypto getting booted out and sent to jail, as crypto will not be played for game number 2, guys. But game 2 now is also ready to go back over onto Olympus. Get ready, because this has set the stage for the teams that have to come in swinging. It's fight night in a different era here on Olympus. And we're getting started, guys, because it's been fantastic to see the adjustments, whether it be, S8UL not finding their stride within their own POI circle pool, but or maybe, seeing the side-by-side of how a lot of these zones kind of seem similar when we dive into our next game, Steph.
Well, let's start thinking about what this game number 2 is going to look like as we dive in. Remind guys, we want to get into that survival stage or lock our tickets in the top 14 for those finals. Zipline Mafia are currently situated in that mid-20s area based off that win, 21 points. And right now, Vicky, I'm not going to lie, I'm seeing a lot of Seers, 20 pick rate, or 100% pick rate. My apologies. Oh, this looks familiar. No, deja vu.
A little bit of deja vu because it's following suit with the same legend band.
Well, I mean, that means Zipline Mafia wins again, right?
Oh, and I mean, if it follows a script, right? The script writer's hard at work.
Look at everyone running. Dinos hop into the rift. They're making a quick rotation. Keep your eyes out on J Future. He was another one of the fraggers I was talking about. Aurora and JD Gaming. S8UL are already there. Gaming Gladiators. They just know they need to defend Clinic. Team Liquid, they're like, oh, we've seen this before. Elysium, we got Ring Console, Survey Beacon. We're going to feel pretty great about all the information we're getting. But this is a much quicker pace. Usually you're seeing teams rotate into that next circle around that 2 to 2:30 minute mark. No, we are actually at 1 minute 30 seconds. That's how much faster they've recognized this.
Oh my goodness. And that's what happens when a lot of these teams are feeling the pressure and are at risk. I mean, even the top end teams could easily deny the opportunity from other squads that they want to be able to have the prio on the POI draft and how that's going to play out, whether it be the top 14 teams in the final lobby or even in the survivor stage. Aurora being one of them. It's crazy how, when we looked at the first half of Alliance's play in our last series and how things just completely switched around. Can that happen for Aurora being another one of those teams on that later half? As Zeddy Jelly was able to get that first knock. Looking for the immediate turnaround, though. It's also going to be TLNP. You mentioned Neo before, too, and it's going to be Akba. With full blue Evos for this squad who want to take this fight. But it's the side-by-side after the action that we saw from Zipline Mafia, a previous team who won game number 1, seemed to be falling in the feet.
I don't want to call it spade or anything, but during that content piece on the break, he thought the first map in ALGS and Apex was World's Edge. We'll talk about that one later, my guy, but first, focus on the fight at hand. Destroy that Axle material. And get back with your team. Exhibit down. Information is to be had.
Sometimes people want to forget about Kings Canyon. I don't. You know what? That's where legends are grinded out here, as loadings are also able to pop off in the feed. TLNP, though, while this fight is going to go on for some time, I worry for the duration because DCG are coming out from the northern side, trying to get the Evil Harvester north of Estates. The exhibit now called in just so that way they can try to clean up this fight even more, and with the 100% pick rate that you mentioned over onto Seer, since we won't see Seer anymore after this game, taking full advantage of this. Seeing that the timing may not be working out in their favor, and with the amount of Valkyries that we also have, a few teams opting for this, like Neo, DCG before, as well as E36. You will be able to have the Skyward Dive as well as the human UAV to see where you can land and maybe some fights that you could go in for a 3P. You can see it right here happening with DCG, but taking control from the evac tower and landing right next to Neo, so they knew that this could happen. They back up just a little bit, not fully overextending, and now TLNP, a team who is very much at risk, would rather back off from that fight.
Yeah, you kind of have to, right? You've got 2 heavy-hitting squads with blue armor coming into that area. It's not safe. You retreat over to Estates, kind of carry on, stay in your lane, focus on getting over to Gardens, where the majority of our teams have already made it. Zipline Mafia is still kind of making their way, maybe on the just outskirts of Turbine. But WGR Neo rotating just a bit. I bet we pop the rift here in a second.
It's important to highlight, by the way, that Zipline Mafia were at least able to get everybody together because that was a fight happening. I believe it was by like Stabilizer, so they forced them to go all the way towards Oasis to probably get that reset. And now they are also forced to slow rotate because we kind of hinted at it at the very beginning, but it's looking like a very similar zone on Olympus, pulling on the outskirts of Gardens, which benefits the likes of SAUL who want to go for a different plan when they get the POI priority of these zones, as well as Gaming Gladiators who land over by Clinic, taking these different fights and maybe not playing as passively, right? Deny that from other teams like Aurora, PXX doing something similar. Unfortunately missing out on that first triple take shot though. And while there's going to be a lot of poke pressure that PXS have to put down, it's so that way they can elevate those Evo shields.
This is going to play out a bit different, however. With Crypto being that first round ban, you're going to see the resurgence of Watson. So look how many teams have isolated their pods with the Watson fences. 15 Watsons in this lobby, and I'd imagine there's going to be about 9 of them over here. For Naughty, we've got to get him back up on his feet, but the exhibit comes down. Shubi and Floating will have to defend the fort, and Aurora lays siege. This is what Alter can do for you. As you portal around, the fence is coming out. Can Floating escape?
Oh my, no, he cannot, and neither does the rest of JD Gaming. That is not what you want to see when you're on the bottom end of the leaderboard, but get it for effect! Because he's just built different. Finds another victim. Trying to get the finishing blow because with the amount of ultras, you can expect the TP to come in. Teleports from the other side because staying alive is a priority. Playing Ring Around the Rosie by the knockdown shield. Looking for these resets. I love the way how slow he's playing this. He goes over, he slides in. That, oh my goodness, the Watson fence slowed him down. PXX, they walk away swinging. Aurora, the second team out of this lobby.
What a good third party from PXX.
मैं
A lot of that
PXX
goes down
को
to the
support
fact
कर रहा हूँ.
that PETA switches from Wraith in game 1
जरूरत
to
है उनको
Alter in game
PXX
2.
को
Hits the
support
portal
करने के
through
लिए.
the walls, bypasses so many of those fences, and takes the third party. Verseda, the Seer, Alter, Watson comp. This is perfect for this setup like we were highlighting. And right now they can play from here. You have E36 out on the diagonal, SAUL on the high ground in Gardens. And for now, Team Liquid are going to hold that north, very similar to what they did in match number 1. Zipline Mafia, Power Grid looks to be hitting a survey beacon to go ahead and get a lot of information on where players are going to be in that quadrant. They can also simultaneously grab the ring console and know which side they want to commit to.
And then get the tower, that's over by Power Grid, right? So they can just take to the skies and find a faster rotation, which comes in clutch when they get that survey beacon and they know the teams that are forced to play on the edge just based off of the early fight that they were forced to be in. And that was against Zeddy. Even DCG now coming out of Gravity Engine, but the fight now happening over to the choke south of Hammond Labs. It's AG Global on another similar rotate, and now trading up. It's going to be a 2v2. Have to be careful though, getting some revenge. It's going to be Kiner with RE45. Leading out the nades though, it's going to be Nate, and he's one of the teams too, also rocking out with the Axel.
And this is difficult, right? Because AG Global was on the low ground. Yanya portals and says, bye, I'm out. Like, honestly, I wasn't here for a long time. I was here for a good time. They do get Zidane back up, and now we swing down the hill on the chase for Niazol, and we put one bullet in the chamber and one to take him down.
Hold on, TLNP, locally with everybody watching them. Finishing them up, but here comes a 3P. This is what you can expect. It is going to be WGR Neo. And Dinos now, what a chunk of the action. The 4P, nobody is safe. The griefing is real. And Pirates are forced to get out.
Dare I say, is that why we saw AG Global just yeet out with their Wraith? They're like, hey, just craft me later, make the regain in the north. And TLNP are going to have to do the same.
Such a good call out. That's why we saw the Q come out and the Wraith was out of there. Nizul.
He's like, bye.
I mean, what
can be in an Aurora package on their timeline from EWC recap day 3.
And let's see if they're able to get the reset easily here, because now they're forced to play off of Rift. But with the zone closing in now behind Zipline Mafia, getting that res for AG is going to be hard because Mafia would be able to try to fully send on to them. Trinity, Igarashi, literally one shot, but they have the TP just in case they need to go in for a reset. Off the Void Nexus, but looking ahead, it's going to be Rohai. We're jumping up, it's going to be Team Vision who are still inside of this building, playing a lot more closer onto the edge, being able to get that scan off the Seer attack and the speed boost while he's at it. Heard of Mad Maggie, Wrecking Ball too. Could it be a strike? Could it find its way in? Jumping over the crates though, moving on them and breaking their ankles, leaving only Carter.
Carter is up, Carter is blinking, Carter v Rohai, but Rohai is full health here. And the Seer Q coming in. He can't use his abilities.
Oh!
Carter trying to clutch it. Carter does it. Trinity have fallen and Team Vision live.
That was so smart of Carter breaking that fight down. He got the scan originally from the other side, saw that he was going to speed boost forward, right? So why not play inside the building that you already locked down with your own Watson fences? You play that patiently. You played behind the double knockdown, and now you get the double res. But the fighting has not stopped by this show, because now you take a look over to Dog. And Dog Red here are looking at Zipline Mafia, Team Liquid, Zeddy, who are now approaching out of Gravity Engine. It's going to be a huge congestion for the teams stuck on his northern side. So many teams coming out of the zone itself.
Truly, I mean, AG Global, they're side questing. Niazul fell to the ring, so hopefully they can make it out with enough beds through the north. The Seer attack coming in. Jelly trying to make first contact with Killapose here. And they've got an Axel, and they're trying to connect. We invest our exhibit to try and find that information, and it does allow Dupe to back up with the team. They want to stay out of the exhibit. And plus, they got to heal up.
No Matrix shenanigans when you get the double jump here on the exhibit. The amount of double exhibits as we get a nice little replay here. The side-by-side while the live action is on the bottom left side of your screen, but it was just so beautiful. You move up, you play safe behind your own Watson fence, and you let it do the rest, the slow down. Benefiting the clutch that we saw. Team Vision now and Team Liquid inside. For free, Zipline Mafia get eliminated. Nothing that they could do with Team Liquid. We're just waiting for the teams that had to rotate from the northern side, and that's why EG Global, by the way, ended up rotating through Gravity Engine instead of the northern side that we could see a lot of these teams try to collapse on when it comes to trying to find that rotate into Gardens.
Well, if you remember what happened in match number 1 with Team Liquid, it was Zeddy had rotated in and they were trying to contest Team Liquid for the north. They fell to Zeddy. So Zipline, that was unfortunate for AG Global, who have had a really difficult thing here going just in the mid-map. They have Ty on the other side. Resources are down 9% until we get a pylon. But I think Yanya is trying to make a portal play behind them and into the void, past the frag grenade, and under the stairs we go.
Wait, that was really smart. Good timing on the Seer attack right there to get the slight slowdown. TIE have the advantage in terms of positioning, but with F-Chan falling, they don't have the number advantage. Having to be careful for a 3, but potentially this makes Umi-chan have to run away. AG go out first. They go out in 16th because of the other teams taking shots at them. Zeddy being one of them now, you having to back away, but it's non-stop action over onto the west side of the zone.
Umi-chan does not get out as Zeddy duplex finds Ty, and they out of the lobby. For WGR Neo, he needs kills. They're trying, but TLNP, they invest the Dark Veil. Dog Red here already has 1 player down, and Killapose is going to do everything he can to get back to a team of 3. But this activates Enerforce 36, who are on the low ground in wait. Wait, Zero's involved, and Zero is down. Team Liquid had fallen.
And they were looking to keep these fights going when they were trying to clear the northern side of the zone because they had like 3 KP, but the fact that they get dove on at the perfect time, Pirates and Dog Red kind of shaking hands with one another, while Vision being another one. It's up to Loader now. Carter was able to clutch before. He sees Lufka, he slides in. The hip fire shots are enough as Gaming Gladiators. They take control over the fight, they come out on top, and they clear the southeastern side of zone. It's really going to probably be Gaming Gladiators versus Dinos eventually, especially with the zone closing in the next 20 seconds.
WGR Neo has fallen as well during that engagement, and TLNP are looking poised. 5 kills thus far this match. Man, Nasty really wasn't kidding when he said he was going out there to coach, and these boys were going to turn it around.
Said, I know you guys are playing later today. Allez France, they say. TLNP. When it matters, with 4 KP to their name and 11 squads left, this is how you start things off for a team that is desperately clawing their way up into the overall standings, avoiding the bottom 6. You can currently see TLNP now moving back just a little bit. I'm seeing the sniper shots from afar. Gaming Gladiators taking shots at them. Well, Dog Nitro Gate, it's going to be Nate. Looking behind them while Dinos get eliminated over to the south side of the zone. It's pulling directly on top of Guard. It's a different look here. Now you have the exhibit. They fully extend it, but TLNP pretty healthy until Blast sends out that nade and completely decimates the rest of Pirates. 9 squads now left, and Gaming Gladiators have isolated their backs to the fence.
The matter of timing as Dogrit now peeks out in Lufka, holding steady, and they move forward, invest the tactical. The exhibit we're still holding. We want the exhibit as a backup plan for our next fights. We can do this without it. RE45 in hand, and they take him down. More kills go the way of Gaming Gladiators, but job's not done. Interforce 36 is still here on this side of the circle, just underneath.
The Gaming Gladiators family buff keeps proving itself over at LAN for fun. Popping the shield bat is going to be Nags, looking behind, setting up the fences, painting the floors here before sliding up, getting that follow-up here onto Pizza, before diving in and jumping into the Void Passage. Hold on, I love this reposition that we're currently seeing. Zeddy, though, are seeing this fight. They don't want to overextend because easily, with the way that the zone is pulling, they don't want to give up this space for Zeta Division to walk up for free. I don't expect them to give up their own with the portal, but he's looking for that portal. He's looking for the kidnap tip.
Give me it.
Oh, look behind him. No way! He knew he was going to try to do it. I don't know if it was a bait to allow his teammates to actually move up from the other side of the building. I heard the sound cue. They take some shots at him, but both teams are respecting one another.
They know if this fight breaks out, someone is likely going to send it nearby. For fun, situated in 28th place in the middle of the survival stage. PXX, 27th. Interforce 36 in your bottom 6. Take to the skies. They get the lay of the land here at Gardens.
Where is it safe? E36 to get the scans, and they see the rooftops. They want to stop this team from taking control over the building. But you have to look behind you too. Literally splitting their attention. Gaming Gladiators eventually get eliminated because now everybody has to move in. E36, Synap actually being able to have his shield full though and playing off the generator is going to be able to prioritize popping this med kit while fighting is non-stop underneath their feet.
They need to get these heals off, and Obli is being picked up. Synap with the comms
Tuffy,
you have to be so confident in those plays, and they staple it. Even Zeddy tried to make a move, and Synap puts the pressure onto PXX. The Valve player, the perfect one to do it, with the jetpack to be able to go up and let the Devo eat. The teammates going to have to provide support here if they're looking to do this quickly, but Zeddy's not going to leave them alone.
It finds some beautiful shots here off the RE45. Ubli just trying to keep the dream alive for E36, while Duplex is going to be able to clean some up here. PXX get eliminated. 5 squads left. It's a stack up. Zeddy for fun. While Enter Force 36. Oh, they get it. While Yuka gets the Kraber shot onto Tyler.
They kidnap Obli back to the low ground, take him out, and Yuka finds himself another infinite ammo Kraber. For fun. This isn't going to be fun.
Literally the bloodbath here as Yuka. Oh no, you gotta look behind you just in case. He fully scented seeing red after playing safe for so long, but sometimes we all get a little angsty here. With Zeta Division not leading that northern building of Gardens since the very beginning of the game. Same thing could honestly be said about S8UL. Playing into their composition of the Seer, Watson, and Ult that you mentioned, Tiff. The one being so important as Yuka. Kraber after Kraber. When you have the infinite ammo, you just let it sing.
What is with me? Every time I see a Kraber shot connect, I just let
oh my god! Giggle. Oh my, that would have been insane. That would have been insane actually. Off the kidnap.
Nice shot.
Kraber, Yuka's feeling himself.
Please. I need more. I need more Kraber shots. Show me your... Oh! Well, I mean, you also do to destroy the pylon. So that's another thing they're working on, which is great. If you have a Kraber, tons of damage going out.
It's a little bit of a statement, too. If you're S8UL and you hear that Kraber...
You're like, there is a Kraber in the lobby confirmed. At what point do we rotate in? And here we are. We have the pylon. We drop the exhibit.
Oh my goodness.
Jelly is sliding in. Full sending straight towards Zeta. They get a knock. Set their sights onto Yuka. Zeddy is feeling themselves.
No way you try to pull that off with the Kraber. But this is all for S8UL to slide in and take for free. Zeta Division go out next. It's for fun versus S8UL who took their time.
And an L-Star and a Dream with a portal.
Oh
and
my.
look at Legacy. The angles behind enemy lines. Here comes Synetic. Sharky though, last standing. Can he finish it with the triple take? It's hitting. And he melees up before fun. Take it. For Fun Sentinels and Gardens in map number 2.
That was so close. The zone acting like the fourth teammate there too. Talk about positioning, playing ring around the rosy, around the hedge. For Fun with the pop-off. A team that drops 8 KP to take game number 2, Tiff.
And they needed that. They were mid-pack in the survival stage. Sure, that's great, right? But you always want to feel more confident. Plus, if you have a big enough series to go ahead and get into the top 14, advance to finals, that is what is on the stakes here. Don't take your chances in a 10-game gauntlet if you don't have to.
Giving a moment for these players. I mean, you know how it is when you clutch out a dub for the rest of your team within your own respective games, how your hands feel clammy.
Bro, my hands feel clammy.
I honestly seeing you could try to pull up the Kraber shot so close like that, playing around the one pillar of the building. What a collapse for our final zone teams there, but even better look for a team like For Fun to get so much KP on top of the win.
9 kills, 5 for Synetic alone. Tyler FPS with 3. Damage off the charts here. Second or third to just a few, but we're neighboring into that 4,000 range.
अच्छा गेम था guys. Anti.
It's a good look when For Fun in game number 1 also had finished in top 5, right? Like they got 3 KP, so now you take the win on top of it all. And it showcases that consistency on Olympus. So we take a look at the highlights here. What went down at the very end. Triple take shots, shooting out the triple take. Like it is a shotgun, but taking control over the high ground as the last one alive for Fun was more than enough, as the individual players for Fun had just separated each other from each side of the hedge, and Synetic is going to be the one to take the lead with 7 KP.
Yo, 7? That's crazy.
7 KP.
Feeling pretty good about that one with 1,800 damage. All right, we'll take it. Anyways, For Fun, though, as we look around, it's Zeta Division on your screen. We can always hear the Zeta fans in the stadium going off every time they're on the screen, every time Yuka has a Kraber. And honestly, with For Fun surviving the onslaught of that pressure from the Kraber, we saw them go down so many times, so many pushes, but the stabilization is real. As we look at our match results, you can see right there, the 21 total points for Fun. S8UL improve on a similar circle. They had 7th place in match number 1, and we get a second here. In match number 2, Zeta Division and Zeddy Esports both doing well. And the fact that we get some placement points here for Interforce 36 to drive them up into that 5th place slot. But Game and Gladiators, a lot of those fights on the east side after Clinic net them 7 kills.
It's a lot when you get the back-to-back ring pool right over onto Gardens. It may look a little different, but still being able to provide us a very similar rotation for the teams that have to traverse through the opposite side of Olympus, coming out of like the northwestern side in general. A little bit of a difficult position for Dinos to be in after our match results, and maybe trying to find your footing, right? Slowing things down, because remember, we still have one more game on Olympus before we transition onto Storm Point for the final 3 games, Tiff, where some of these teams may be able to ramp up a lot more. But while we get ready and we set up, I'm hearing Rain Day's got an interview for us here over on the floor.
The interviewer. Jant.
All the way from the shores of PEI, Girl has joined us here in France. Welcome, Girl. I know you've been watching the tournament, and you've actually played with some of the guys here. You and Jelly just won a tournament before he came here.
We did. We won the $25,000 Bolo tournament. It was fun, and he carried me so hard. He was literally carrying the whole team on his back. He's so good. Nemesis and that squad have some serious firepower, but talk to me, Jelly's so young. Were you impressed at him doing that at such a young age? He had a lot of confidence. I was very surprised. It was our first time playing together, and I think he's going to go far in the esports scene for sure. I mean, listen, despite, you know, the wind blowing your hair perfectly and all this setup, you speak French, you speak Arabic. This is like the perfect place for you at EWC. I want to know what you feel about, of course, Team Falcons and Hal specifically. He's a guy that's easy to root for. He's somebody that you know very well. What are you feeling about him and Falcons going into this? I think they're doing great. I really admire Hal's work ethic. He inspired me in Apex Legends and in the pro scene. He's one of the reasons why I'm here today, because like just watching him and his passion shine through is really nice. So I'm hoping they do really well.
Now, of course, having Canadian citizenship, ENC coming up. Girl, you said you want to coach. So any coaching opportunities out there, holla at you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down to do other Apex things. Like, I love being a content creator, but I really love the pro scene so much that I wish I could be a part of it a little more.
All right, finally, before we go, who's winning EWC?
That one's really, really hard. I think if you stay tuned till Saturday, you'll find out.
She took the cop-out answer, but I love it, girl. Thanks for being here. Okay, that's it for us at ALGS at EWC 26. We'll send it back to the studio.
Welcome back, everybody. I love hearing for those that are in the scene making waves like Girl. Love hearing her thoughts too, and how she looks up to those like even Hal, you know, at one point a long time ago when we take a trip way back when, Tiff, both Girl and Hal were on TSM at some point representing the org here on the big stage, and Girl herself being a commentator. She has so much knowledge to provide for the game. I would love to see Girl coach, and even highlighting the young talented legend that is Jelly. Literally 18 years old and putting on her performance and seeing how a lot of these teams are feeling that pressure for fun. Just took game number 2 for those of you just tuning in on Olympus. Getting 8 KP to their name, and with no more Seer or Crypto in this lobby, we got one more game to go on Olympus.
That's really great to hear. And honestly, after that game, our map winners for Fun Esports, right? That 21 points jumped them up to 88 in the overall rankings, which allows them, if I'm not mistaken, to feel safe to be able to make the survival stage. Now, I'm not going to say how the next games are going. You never know what's going to happen. But when you look at our series results, Zeta Division, 29 points. For Fun Esports, 28 points. And Zipline Mafia, your map 1 winners, 21 points. Rounding out the top 5, of course, S8UL and Zeddy. Zeddy, we were talking about that, right? So for the teams that need to kind of bounce back, I think Dinos can do it. I put them as a question mark in every lobby that they got. It's their first major LAN, and you really never know. You've got really everything ahead of you, and you can just do whatever you want and full send. That is what that team does. Aurora, though, they need to step it up. That is not what I expected, Vicky.
It's crazy. It's almost like, you know, being able to find your stride a little late here when it's the last game on Olympus and looking at the key pressure and what's at risk. I mean, seeing where Aurora stands is just nothing that a lot of these fans could have expected too, Tiff. I mean, I'm on the same boat here. Can they really turn things around on Storm Point? I mean, when you have one more chance on Olympus, I know these zone pools, the back-to-back have been very similar. We have to see if anything's changed up, though. As we get ready to go on Game 3, I'm hearing the crowd get even louder as this day has progressed. And I'm ready as well as Tiff, because with these teams feeling the risk, they know that they have to get a lot more aggressive to secure that KP on top of the dub.
Our final match of Olympus here in the group stages of ALGS Split 1 playoffs is just now getting underway. We got to kick things off with For Fun, your prior map winners, and see basically how things, you know, the looting pass, right? We're going to pick up the EVA 8 Sentinel. Okay, nice. I like that. We're over at Terminal here. You do have access to a ring console in which Tyler will likely get that information shortly to see where we need to full send.
Man.
Oh, this looked familiar.
That's why I started laughing.
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
I mean, another southern, southeast zone pool, but it's, you know, at least it's not directly on top of Guardians. It's going to be a Summers University zone. I mean, I feel like I'm living in a parallel dream with the way that we've been seeing these zones pool towards the outskirts of Somers University, and the teams that are already quickly on their road take your Tip. Dinos, as per usual, going through
no ring console here for Team Liquid. They've only got a survey beacon, so they'll just have to rotate on the information. But hold on, we've got a standoff, and Dinos say, all right, bye, see you later. You guys can have the loot here. We don't need it. Back they go straight towards Dockyards, where, well, a few teams lie in wait for them. TLN Pirates likely going to run straight into Dinos alongside WGR Neo, who hail from Hydroponics. They also have some information in the likes of a survey beacon from there. And let's keep our eyes. Terminal did have that ring console, so you do know For Fun Esports already made their way over to Summers.
We're quick with the rotate too. I mean, look even at Aurora, right? And noting how they've been playing already over the course of these last 2 games means that they're going to be playing more so on the edge, try to isolate more of these fights and clear their backs too if they do decide to commit to these fights. Trinity, who have the scan over by Bonsai as well as the ring console, are moving through Icarus, where they will have to collapse on Aurora and TLNP. Over on the other side of Terminal, we saw Dinos, they dipped quickly when they felt the pressure from TIE. And now Pirates holding the other side of that fight. And Dino now getting a little bit of revenge, looking at WGR Neo. They fully send it here. The kickstart, though, is locked in. Ooh, talk about the portal, though, to avoid getting hit by that. That was beautiful, by the way, off the Void Passage. Jay Future now backing away, zooming down off the Nitro gate. And it's the way that they're trying to time these fights because they know the third party was in the vicinity. They didn't want to fully send out because now Neo get away and Pirates are right behind them.
Here's the deal, though. We were just talking about Aurora and how they need a massive comeback, and we find them pitted between 2 teams. Zach Mazer over there on Team Vision with the Rampage just fully sent onto effect. Doesn't matter that we're situated on all white shields. We've got the Breach Charge, we've got an Altar Portal, and we're just going to try to cause some chaos. Now, I do want to note that Mad Maggie has a 95% pick rate, 19 Maggies in the lobby. So keep your tabs on Watson's pylons and Mad Maggie drills because they're going to be everywhere.
And welcome the baby comp into Storm Point because that's definitely going to mean we're going to have an influx of Gibbies with Mad Maggies not in the lobby. No Wrecking Ball to be a threat to that dome, while Vision being a threat to Aurora. Oh my goodness, Oiring can't catch a break. Being able to boost up into that blue Evo to also get that next perk here for Zach, but notice how they're not trying to overextend. Why is that? Because they know other teams, North of Summers, are looking to 3P this. For Fun being right behind them here, and Aurora still trying to stay alive while Zach do closing the gap. Giving away some of the space and beaming Harako now, and the Rampage is singing, charged up. White knockdown isn't going to do too much here because it's a cleanup on aisle 3. Aurora is the first team out, and they are a threat of elimination.
8th overall on the standings here with 17 points. And with their first fight done here, you have to keep tabs on what that lay of the land looks like. You see for Fun in the highlights over there, just north of them. Enterforce 36 on the other side as well. Trinity will be the next team looking to rotate in through the south side toward Team Vision.
I just can't believe this. The fact that Aurora has 54 total points over the course of this entire group stage, and now they have only 3 games to go. They're sitting in 35th. Bottom 6 teams out of our 40 teams will be going home, and Zeta, who doesn't really have that concern. Mike is going to be able to heal up. It's a reset while Yuka's going to try to cover his back. Holding up to the high ground while round 1 is closing in. There's a lot of these teams, though, who are going to be piled up on the northern side of the zone. Team Liquid will eventually show face through the choke that Zeta's holding.
It's kind of scary for them, making their way finally down from Elysium. Slightly slower, but that's because you have to base everything on timing from other teams since you did not have that ring console. For GG, had some, decent games here inside the top 10. They already won one of their group series earlier this week, so they're situated quite nicely on the overall standings of our group stages. For Fun, your match 2 winners there. Quick look at them as we see what exactly happened to Aurora. The positioning from Trinity and Team Vision just sandwiching, and that is just a tough place to be in.
Speed run of a highlight reel there, but I mean, that's what happens. Wondering what's going on with Aurora, what's going on with the comms here. Effect feeling the pressure too. After Aurora welcome him into this roster, putting on a performance throughout Pro League, but not showcasing that consistency where it matters at LAN. AG Global, meanwhile, though, also having a slow start comparatively to their performance in our other last few group stages that they've played in. While DCG now, look at Zipline Mafia, who've been stuck rotating on the outside of zone for so many of these zone pools. It's unfortunate, but Kazak is not going down without a fight alongside the rest of his team. I mean, it's just round 1. They can afford this, but slowing down just a little bit, having to be careful. The Wrecking Ball slams into him. It's a back-to-back slowdown. But do you really want to overextend this? Because there's literally 4 other teams that could show face. Zeddy, Pirates, who put down the portal so that way they could reset if they have to in Terminal. They show face. Zipline Mafia kind of stuck playing inside the zone while DCG now move up. They take to the skies, and this is the beauty of some of these teams having the Valkyrie.
And Zipline Mafia, those teams they're highlighting down below is going to be Zeddy Esports, but we're back into the south. It's WGR Neo making a play onto Trinity, Vols to fall, and we're looking for the full if we can. We convert, and Trinity disengages out towards the west and just starts running, looking for a regain. Other teams will definitely hear this and try to get involved. But with it just Rohike is actually, Grace is down.
It's tough to be a Trinity fan here too. Playing the Sparrow and looking to see if he could get his teammates back up. And Neo too, playing on the edge, trying to go back to Icarus. That's not going to be great for Trinity if you could try to get the reset. Team Vision have been harassing them, but it's even better when you have that Void Nexus ready behind Team Vision, just so that way the two other members of Vision who are looking to get ahead and find this KP can go right back to that one player who's holding it down on the edge of this next zone pool on Sommers.
I love that those two went and just like looted, and they had like 7 shield bats on the ground. But a quick look at our circle here. You have Zeta Division in the north alongside JD Gaming. But if you keep tabs on it, you have GG, Dogred, SAUL, Team Liquid still that could come down from the north. For Team Vision, the split hold because the two members went to go look at WGR. Neo, who did go running towards Solar Array. A big fight likely to break out there with TLN Pirates rotating for info. But Trinity have fallen. Another game does not go their way, but they still have 3 more chances on Storm Point to make a comeback.
But with only 3 games to go, it's getting a little hot in the arena, and a lot of these pros are feeling the pressure now, moving up, seeing if they could get that third player over by Bonsai. Pirates are going to be really the only one in Stasis Array who will clear this res while Team Vision hold that southwestern side of Sommers. They're not going to move from that spot, and I really agree with them too with the way that the pile-up is looking like for the teams coming in from the north side, and that's still without ignoring the Valkyrie teams who could easily fly over and find that free building south of Sommers that is still available for some of these teams.
Keeping your eyes out, looking towards the survey beacon. Maybe we can get access to it and start our rotate in. Zeddy just out towards the north of them. For now, this should be uncontested. WGR Neo does get a full reset of back to a team of 3 in the south, and Dogred, well, frag indicators are real. Fights breaking out into the north. SAUL and Gaming Gladiators trying to fight this.
There's Dogred who's stuck in the middle too, while Zipline still trying to find their journey outside of zone, outside of Grow Towers. Team Liquid will have that information. They do have that beacon available to them, and it's the fight for the Mythic Bin, which is where SAUL are holding their ground, while AG also in some trouble, but Hagwadis is able to get some retaliation, forcing Dinos now to try to get the reset, but Chaos can't get the res. I love this call from AG as Hagwadis yeets out the nades, finishes off DJ in the process, and they can hear floating in the vicinity Chaos just waiting patiently right behind his own gen because he's got the TP. He's going to be able to bring his teammates back to life thanks to the Void Nexus, and AG Global cannot say the same because creeping about was floating. You saw the pings. They heard him, and he was able to scoop up Hagwadis and take away AG Global's dreams, being the 3rd team to fall in this lobby.
He really said, get me involved. And you have to. You have to grab as many kills as possible. JD Gaming still just hanging out above the elimination stage. And like I've said, it will be down to the likelihood of 1 kill, Vicky. So get every kill, every finish that you possibly can. TLNP on 17 points for our series. The Battle of the South likely to break out. You can see Dinos on the horizon, but really our threats are WGR Neo. Drop an evac tower. Are we going to go straight towards Summers University? Because we've got to get ahead of a couple of teams, but I don't know how much space will be available at this time. There's still so many teams up.
And that's why you saw them ping to just move ahead, right? If they're one of the teams with the Axel, just take the Nitro Gate, move forward, don't call in with the evac tower. Even if you have the Valkyrie, you get the information, but after losing out on your shield, that's detrimental when Ring 3 is closing behind your backs. Legacy was able to get the Kraber and the infinite ammo when they had the Mythic Bin. right there on top of Grow Towers. Everybody takes to the sky when they have the Valkyrie composition. Gaming Gladiators, even TIE though, not with the Valkyrie, but playing off the side of the crates, and it's so much pressure as Jesco gets that knock with the Arc Star. Umi-chan going down. F-Chan now, it's only up to him, the Wraith Q, to get away. Putting in the pressure and now having to play off the corner. Nothing to see here. Maybe hoping that SAUL will take their attention on PXX. Because Eddie are also fighting on the other side.
And here comes SAUL. PXX, you're right, across the way. I think with this Kraber, you're just waiting for anyone and everyone to peek.
TI are still alive. Saying, don't look at me, please. PXX get eliminated. The fact that the solo stays alive is another thing.
They're looking, they're hunting.
They're trying to prevent this res though. Seti now, having to be careful. Playing off the back end up to Jen though. Setting out the drones too from both sides before sliding in off the Nitro gate. It's gonna be Jelly. Heads are flying. Did you get eliminated? And so does Zeddy. Esports playing that safe. It's gonna be Legacy. Where did he go? I know he's around. I hear him about. They have the portals and they get the slight scan too. Do they prio trying to rotate? Does FJ get the res? He gets the res off the death box. They had to have heard that. They had to. Legacy then gets the follow-up, finds F-Chan. He gets the revenge off the Kraber shot. And after hearing that, they were so close to rotating out Imagine, but after hearing that res, they deviate their attention right back over to the team that they were originally fighting.
Back up on your feet, F-Chan, you go. They drop a pylon, they focus on healing, and dang, that is crazy. That pip just goes to show you where that circle is pulling, and for Fun Esports, they've got a position in that next circle. Yo, wait, did Juzna just finish Zane with a Watson fence?
They think they're Picasso, the way that they're painting the entire map with these Watson fences. Oh my God. That disappeared, man. No evac tower, unfortunate, as Legacy also drops like a hot potato. Can they get out with the recall? Get eliminated. I was wondering what kind of communication was that. They could have put down the portal, they could have gone through the wall with the void passage, and now SAUL getting eliminated. Clears things up for the one solo of TIE. To keep the dream alive, Liquid and JD Gaming are hungry. They feast upon his body. The solo out, and Panic follows up to get the knock onto Stay Naughty once they're face off against each other.
Shields ripped apart, bats coming out, and the pressure is still on Team Liquid. JD Gaming with the positioning. Look at where Floating is trying to take an angle. The Maggie Ball yeets Panic to the side, and down he goes. From behind,
no way.
Shubi. The synergy that Floating and Shubi are organizing here. The chaos of Team Liquid, and JDG wipe them off the face of Olympus.
The fact that you're still seeing these knocks after Liquid get eliminated. What are these squad wipes? Everybody taking these fights. Spafafib gets a little sneaky here on the other side of zone. Did hear that they got the res. That's why he didn't want to show his face too. He saw that maybe he could have had an opportunity. As Akba though also trying to have the opportunity to find Zeta, who are playing right underneath them, but look behind you, you may not hear it, especially with the drill is right to your back. Forced to drop down too, with the ring being right close to him. Synetic is going to be able to get the finishing blow onto Duxo that we saw earlier on, and Dino now waking up with 11 squads left in this lobby.
And you have to play this so cautiously, because look who just took to the top of that.
Goodness.
Team Vision also fighting for position and coverage in that next circle. DJ Killa, those shots that are coming through. Zipline Mafia from the high ground on the west side, playing around TLN Pirates and Enter Force 36. We come over here and Team Vision wipe for Fun.
It's a tough situation to be in while Team Vision, who have been holding that entire southern side of zone for so long, especially playing off of the coming in clutch portal. That Void Nexus coming in clutch though. Wrecking Ball though, it's a strike. He finds Mike, and Floating's upset. He wakes up. He gets the quick 2K here before sliding down. Here's the rest of the teams moving up. Gaming Gladiators, maybe his next victims. They get eliminated, but unfortunately it does get stolen from him. And remember, JD Gaming need all the points that they need. Breaking down the perimeter fence line though, and you can hear the pings. With Stay Naughty now in some trouble, needs suppress fire, and Floating has the wingman in hand.
We lost out on a few teams during that, and that's okay, because JDG is looking to send themselves into the top 5. The pressure is eating the wingman. 50-50-50. Zipline Mafia, fresh off a rotation, go towards TLN Pirates and enter Force 36. But to the low ground we go. And right there, Kazakh up on the height. Nate sends the portal. Xenon goes up, and down goes Nate.
You touched it! The fact that they're forced to go down too. I mean, they felt the pressure off the drill. Kazakh is able to get that knock originally. Now Zidane is forced to play off the lip of this fence line. Playing off the head glitch from both sides too, but having to take a different angle away from Kazakh's point of view.
Oh no.
RE45, but he has to get through all the knockdown shields, just enough to be the nail in the coffin to delete Pirates. 5 squads left.
They fell with 4 KP, so still points on the board, but it's Zeta at the top of the series for Olympus thus far. We're healthy. We're near center of circle, but you have to keep so many eyes out across the board. Enter Force 36 potentially facing elimination, but this big game can start to turn things around.
Purple Perks forced in app and evac tower to try to take onto the high ground, while Zipline Mafia are down to it with the zone closing in. It prevents Kazakh from being able to reset, from being able to get the res. Zeta understand this situation. They're playing alongside the bins as well as the gen. They hear the fighting here as Shady Gaming floating, taking a different off angle. They have 6 total KP for this entire team, trying to elevate themselves as Sasuke is going to be able to find Carter. E36 getting a trade off too while floating. Has been trying to farm, finishing off Team Vision, wrapping behind them. Zeta.
Oh my.
Will they be next? He's going crazy. He misses out on some of those wingman shots, which means he misses out on getting the 2 KP as Justin picks that up.
An Arc Star knocks down 2 members of Zeta, and JDG finish them. Into the top 2 we go. E36 and JDG, the teams at risk of going home, are giving it everything.
What did they feed floating? As 2 squads, JD Gaming are looking to take the dub when they need it the most. Floating! They have 10 total KP. It's up to Stay Nutty. L-Star in hand, playing up the knockdown. Only 1 member left as JD Gaming. At the very last second, they take the final game on Olympus. They are your Game 3 winners.
There's a reason that we are so hyped talking about this team. 2nd seed from Americas. 15 kills that game. I lied, sorry, that was dramatic. 13 kills. My bad, still 6 though.
Still insane.
Still good though.
Like, what?
25 points. A team at risk of going home. Do you know how massive 25 points is for that?
When you were on the later half of the overall standings, it's massive too. Because you could at least have some room to breathe when you only got 3 games to go. The shouting, the vibes here. They're looking at Zach, the trade-off after floating. Came in from the flank, by the way.
Yo, floating is cracked. Like, floating is so cracked. It has been so sick to witness the comeback. And dude, we've been following Shubi since Challenger Circuit, right? Do you remember like the lone standing Bangalore from Challenger Circuit that was just full sending everything? It is a true grind. And how long? Naughty, first land IGLing. I mean, look, this is Vicky and I's last cast for the group series, mind you. And I'm so curious, so I'm gonna say it here live. Grace, Snipe, y'all said JDG was gonna be one of the teams from Americas going home. We'll have to talk later.
I don't know if that's gonna happen when you have somebody like floating in a perfect flow state, willing to take some of these fights, go around the outside of zone just so that way he can sneak up with the pop-off, the side-by-side. I love the energy that we're here seeing, and Stay Naughty taking just a deep breath of relief.
But it's just such the dynamics between both of them, because, you know, when you have that, knowing that you both need all of the points there at the end, 25 points. Look, JDG, guys, was 1 point outside of the bottom 6. They just kept toggling. We were out of it, but not by much. And you throw 25 points down, that moves you 7, 8 positions up.
और एक बंदा डिस्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा था वो 2 बंदे इसको मार दिया वहाँ पे खत्म गेम घुस गए सब साथ
I mean, when you go from game number 2, the first team to go out of the lobby was JD Gaming. And now you move on to our final game on Olympus, game number 3. And you end up not only taking the double with double-digit KP. And it also goes hand in hand that at least in match 1, they finished in top 3 with 10 KP, even though going on after that game 2, you're the first team to go out. You still were able to get double-digit KP nonetheless in that first game. Now you get...
Just looking at his floating's responsible for 10 of them. Naughty has 7, Shubi 6, but floating has done almost 5k damage. He's the one player on that team with a positive damage differential, and it's 1500.
Wow.
PXX.
That man deals out so much more damage than he takes. So not only good at getting kills, but he's evasive.
It's actually insane the way that he can drag out and position himself. Because it's really important, right? It's all about that positioning and the way that you try to take some of these fights. And floating was cheeky in that positioning and the way that you try to take some of these fights. And floating was cheeky in that playing on the outskirts of the ring, so that way you could go in for a flanking position, and constantly getting away with it is what you like to see. Because now as we change maps, it's about carrying that momentum when you have a different look of the POI draft. Hearing that we got an interview ready on the floor, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got so much more action here within the ALGS. I want to hear from our desk.
At the halfway point of this group stage on the final day, we still have time, but it is running out. I'm joined by Effect here from Aurora Gaming. Effect, I don't have to sit here and tell you, obviously, the scenario that you guys are in and the scenario that everyone else in this arena is in. But let's be clear, you guys are all absolutely incredible players. But what has it been about this LAN that's made it such a challenge?
I don't really have anything to say, like much to say. I have no idea. It's just our first LAN and first time getting used to playing like the way Yarka plays, the way we play in zone. So that's it, just the experience.
How's it been staying motivated within the comms and staying positive in like this uphill battle you're in right now?
I'm staying like neutral. I don't have like that much of emotions or anything. A little bit sad, of course. Don't want to go out from group stages, but we still have 3 games.
Exactly. The reality is you've still got 3 games, and of course you've got loads of fans still supporting you both in the arena and of course at home. Is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Sorry, English is hard. Hopefully we don't disappoint you.
I tell you what, you're an incredible player. We can't wait to see what you bring in the next 3 games. I'm not going to take up any more time. Thank you so much, Effect, for joining me here. I'm going to send you over now to Rain Day with another interview on the other side of the stage.
Thank you, Barney. I am standing here, and it may look like deja vu, but no, it was yesterday that I spoke with Pandas. You were in a pretty different state than you are now. Talk to me after that final win that you guys just got a few games ago to ease a little bit of pressure that I know you have been feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it just took a lot of stress off of our shoulders. Like, we still got to get a few more points on the board, get to that top 14 so we don't have to play tomorrow in the Survivor Series.
I talked about the palpable nature of the tension that's here in the arena. You've seen it, you felt it. Your players have denied interviews not once, but twice. I don't know if these are the Kings or something. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's because they're trying to stay locked in. They know that any slip up right now means they could be going home.
Yeah, I would rather have my players be locked in, not gonna lie, coming into the series, you know. We had an okay first 2 days, but now it's our chance to really prove ourselves on land.
Talk to me about the mentality really quickly before I let you go. That locked in, what does that look like for your team? When they're focused, when everyone's playing their best. I talked to Synetic earlier on in this season. It was one of my favorite interviews about him taking on the role, switching to controller, obviously bringing Tyler into this lobby and into this team and saying, I can lead a little bit with the damage as well. I don't need a Zane to do that for me. What does it look like when your team is playing at their best, and what do you guys need to do in these last few games?
I mean, everyone's just so consistent when we're all together, calming together, you know. Going into this day, I was telling everyone to keep their energy high and start off strong. So once that gets rolling, the team is just unstoppable. Like, we won't lose a 3v3.
Congratulations, man. You guys have done well. Listen, If you guys deny me one more time, it's going to be hell to pay. I tell you that. Third interview is a charm. We're going to get him over here. However, I got my man Barney Banks sitting over with Kazakh, waiting to talk a little bit more.
That's right, Rainday. Third time is the charm. Third interview is the charm. We got Kazakh here from Zipline Mafia. Kazakh, talk to me first and foremost about the experience so far at this LAN, with this live crowd in this environment. How's it been?
It's great. A little bit hot, but overall good.
It's a little bit hot. Things get sweaty. Things get heated here on the main stage. Now, with that performance that you guys have shown up with today in the day 3 of the group stage, it looks like you guys have saved yourself. Did you kind of have that sigh of relief when you finally put up some big numbers and now you're feeling a bit more comfortable, right?
Yeah, we planned this. We were looking for our game, and now finally we won.
So if you're playing again tomorrow, what's going to change? Like, how is kind of being, before you come onto this stage, how has it been like communicating with the boys before you come out here? Like, what's the plan been every day? How have you made adjustments?
So as an emergency sub, I just played with the boys 2 weeks of scrims, but I hope we won't play tomorrow, but day after tomorrow in finals.
I love it. I love that positivity. Kazakh, thank you so much for joining me in this interview. Best of luck in your next 3 games, and we'll see how it all pans out. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing. Let's go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
It's definitely a different atmosphere here at the Korea City Grid Arena, as honestly, a big shocker that we have had. We expected JDG not to do that well, but boy, did they step up, and with that performance, I think they're gonna be saved and not getting eliminated.
I mean, yeah, Naughty really turned it up there, and you can see the energy and the passion and, you know, everything going through it, but, you know, they're on the cusp. I did some calculations. They are still on the cusp of, you know, sort of going under that red line. But obviously, I want to sort of touch on Aurora. We sort of saw that sad look on Effect's face. But I do want him to know you still got 3 more games. And it's basically JDG and then Aurora that are just needing to fight for that position. So I do feel like Aurora might need to do something incredible this, and I really, really hope Effect, you know, can shake off that kind of attitude and just really go for it, because there is still that chance and opportunity these next 3 games to push themselves out of that bottom 6.
I mean, speaking of JDG, we did have our doubts, but I will say, floating, absolutely engaged. He was looking like he was being ranked out there that game, actually. He was just sending absolutely everybody on repeat, making several plays and getting this KP on the board. However, I will also say, Naughty winning as IGL on LAN Dream is still alive. It could happen at this point. I'm so happy to see the change of pace, because we were losing hope quite a bit right there, but this is the form that, you know, that took them to the top that they were.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen someone's face on the main screen have as much relief as we saw Naughty's have after he pulled out that win, and his team, they just all embraced each other. It's like, hey man, this is like what we spent all year getting to here, and it's really awesome to see them prove us wrong up here, as it is a team that I am happy to see do well, considering, you know, we have some other pro players. You know, we had Zero talking a little bit of trash, and it's good to see Naughty kind of breaking out of that shell of people kind of underestimating him as just being, you know, this crazy fragger in the past, and now he's taking on a more important role and really showing up at the stage when it matters most.
That's the floating we're used to seeing. Like, that is the stuff that we knew that he could do.
Now we just want to see the effect that we're used to seeing, because Aurora, I mean, a lot of us expected them to do what some of the other squads earlier in the day were able to do, right? NIP showed up, Alliance showed up. What's going on with Aurora? I mean, we saw the body language right there out of Effect.
not really, you could tell that he didn't want to be there. So thank you, Barney, for doing that interview with us, with him. But what's going on with Aurora? Take me through the mindset of what could be happening with that squad right now, Grace.
I mean, you heard it himself. He says he doesn't really know. Like, this is the thing. It all comes back to experience. He even said it himself. It's just experience. I'm not used to playing with Hjarka's way of IGLing zone on LAN. And that is a different from playing online, because you have to remind yourself that playing all of these tournaments, playing ranked is different from pubs. Playing Pro League or CC is different from ranked. And it keeps going, and LAN, especially at EWC, when the stakes are so high as winning 600K, is even higher. Of course, they're going to get affected by it.
Yeah, I kind of want to point out something there. I mean, the stakes are higher, and I think this is something that people don't really take into consideration. When Hjarka won Year 5 champs, no pressure, no one thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
There was not a single person that literally went into that, and for him as an IGL, you don't have anything to worry about. Anything better than what people were expecting was an over-accomplishment. And now that you have that first place and you pick up someone with the accolades that Effect has, you have pressure to uphold where he came from on Alliance, not to mention getting first place in Pro League in the EMEAs. There's no real pressure online. Everyone's comfortable in their own homes. There's nothing like that. Yet you get to this stage and you start off slow and have these bad rounds when all the more expectation than you've ever had on you and your team is now placed on you. And we're seeing that maybe take effect here, literally, because that's 3 games in a row that they dropped barely anything and were trying to force fights early on, hoping to get those points that they needed, when in reality, maybe all they needed, just like we've seen with these other teams, was to just find a good spot, get to zone, and let the kills come to them. It seems like they might be forcing stuff, and now that they're in this position, they might have to do that even more.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the body language right now to us. We're looking at the keys, which at some point, I'm pretty sure we'll get a chance to crush them. Aurora doesn't want their keys to be crushed. They're wanting to continue on. How can they get themselves out of this mood that they're currently in to make sure that they push up, as we're going to be looking at the overall, and then at some point we'll see Aurora and we'll see how far away or where they currently are in that standing.
I mean, this is the thing. I think everybody saw it in that 1v2 he has as well. If you follow the match, he's getting desperate. He's clawing at absolute everything. And at some point, and I'm sure, Snap, you and me both have gone through it before, where nothing is working and you just go, screw it, I just have to 1v57. And when you have that mindset, it's either make or break. And I think for Effect personally, it's not a good thing, because he can get into his own mind, and that will cost him, because he is a phenomenal player. But when you play, because I played under other RGLs as well, when you just feel like, hey, nothing we're doing is working, we need to change something up, it's really tough, because at the end of the day, you have to follow your RGL, and if you don't and you split ways, you gotta be Pepega together and not split.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was kind of tough seeing that image of all 3 of them sitting there, because, I've been in similar situations where you feel like you're about to get bounced and your teammate might have his head down on the desk. Someone has to step up, tell each other to put your headphones on, get rid of the noise, lock in, and just hype each other up. Tell your IGL, you're that best FN IGL in the game. Make it seem like you have confidence in each other, so you come out, because when you're just sitting there all with your hands on your head and you're just staring at your monitor, it's just such a bad precedent that you all just are, I'm a real believer in just energy, and what you put in is kind of what you get. And to feel like that and to see that is not what you want to see if you're an Aurora fan heading into these final 3 games.
Yeah, and that's what I was sort of touching on. Like, you just got to shake off that kind of energy. Still got 3 more games to lock it in. And if we want to move over to let's have a look at those more bottom teams there. We can see where Aurora are currently sitting, because like I said, it's just in bottom 6. But they are incredibly close to getting out of that. Obviously, after JDG's performance, they got out of that bottom 6 just then. So it is an incredibly tight spot right there, and still 3 more games. They're able to do that. It's definitely right there. Applicable. Yeah, there we go. Let's
there
have
you
a
have
look.
it.
Yes.
I mean, Aurora right now, 37th place, only gotten 3 points today so far. There is the benchmark right there that we're currently seeing. Can they do enough? Can they actually knock themselves into their head? Because like you were mentioning, Grace, it happens to some players, right? It happens in the past. And Snipe, I'm gonna be sending this to you, because I want to know, what can Effect do to make sure that doesn't happen? He doesn't get into his head. He doesn't start overthinking in these 3 matches, knowing that there is a chance that they could end up going home if they don't start putting up points.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just 1 game at a time. But when we look at that page, the bottom 3 are already out.
Yeah, they're already
They're
out.
not even really a part of this anymore. we are looking at the highest elimination points that we have seen yet. It's at 63 right now is the cutoff, and Aurora's at 54. So we're looking at minimum 15 to 20 points minimum to try and get them back up. So we're already pushing into the 70s for a potential cutoff here, and that's pretty extended. But if there's the team that has the firepower to do it, they're doing it. We've seen Enter Force 36 already work their way up, JDG working their way up. All these teams that we talked about, Zip, all these teams that we've talked about that have the potential to do it, there's only one left, and we're going to see what happens.
I mean, we can even see it right here on the footage of the cam as well. So much pressure. People just staring into the sky, whether they're closing their eyes and meditating for a few seconds just to see what can we pull out to make it, like, dig ourselves out of this hole that we have dug for ourselves in the first 2 days. And it's really tough. Currently, the cutoff is at, what, 63. It's definitely going to move up. Yeah, it's definitely going to move up. And the thing is that it's super competitive. Everybody just really wants it. But this is also this to me is the beauty of esports, because it's one part that we don't really dive into a lot. We typically dive into the champs. We typically dive into the top 2, the best teams of each region. But the reality is someone has to get sent home. And it's soul crushing for the people that have worked so hard to be here. But it's also what makes this game so very beautiful, that everybody is putting in their best effort. And that's the competitiveness is literally apex.
Yeah, I was actually going to touch on Pirates, still in that same sort of situation, right? They were just under that as well. It was something that we could absolutely see these guys sort of pull it out within that 3 matches. But honestly, it's actually so neck and neck in this leaderboard. But look, I feel like this team is turned up in these last couple of matches. I don't know what has been happening in those previous ones. Yes, and which, you know, we got to chat to him before, and I was like, we're about to do an interview, and he's like, I'm gonna go coach. And all they needed was the Nasky vibes, I feel.
I mean, sometimes a coach, especially with the experience in Nasky, can make that difference. And for today, it has made that difference. The question is, we're done with Olympus. Storm Point's gonna be coming up for those kind of teams. Can they do enough? And I know you wanted to talk about Nasky, how much of a difference that can make for a squad like the French squad.
Tanned Nasky now, by the way.
I mean, we just looked at the view, and they were in way higher spirits than we just saw when we had Aurora on the screen, and they're 11 or 9 points less than them. So I think for them, they came in with only, I think, 24-ish points. They were last place, and for them to already have 25-ish around this series right here is good vibes. They know they're doing well, and if they get another 25, 30 points, you know, they might be that 35th team to try and get them right outside of it, and it's going to be interesting to see. But Nasky comes in, he is, you know, able to give them a little bit better of his own, you know, history as an IGL, keep their spirits up, because people don't realize that this is his first day here. There are 2 bad days. They actually did have a bit of a coach replacement, and he came in and he's replaced the vibes. He was super confident, said he had a great feeling when we were in the green room talking to him, and we know a big history there, and there's a lot of things that I'm sure he can bring to an inexperienced roster at a big event like this.
Well, there you go. We got the PO. With this, sorry, I'm just shocked. I'm honestly shocked that Aurora is currently where they are, that JDG was able to climb up. With this POI draft that we have on the screen, Graceful, is there anything that you're seeing that kind of points out that might make Aurora's job even harder?
Definitely not harder. They're at Ceto Station. There's plenty of drops right here, or even zones. We've seen several in Jurassic. We've seen Central move up. Surely, if it comes to wall, I still think they have pretty much of a prio to get in there. They're in a super solid spot depending on where the zone pulls. However, if we're looking at, you know, Stormcatcher perhaps, it might be a little bit tougher. I think overall, they can make this happen. And now it's literally do or die. If they have 1, maybe 2, like 2 donuts, they need to drop like a 40 bomb to make it through, and we can't have that happen.
Well, we saw what being able to get a good POI draft can happen in the earlier series for some of these squads. Now you're saying it's looking good here for Aurora. What are we expecting out of Aurora in this last 3 matches?
God, they just need one pop-off game. They just need to do everything within this first one, and I reckon they're going to be absolutely a-okay.
Well, let's see if that's going to happen, as, ladies and gentlemen, the final 3 games of the group stage is here. Let's send it over to Dan Gaskin in Onset.
Thank you so much. Here we go then, everybody. It's time to send some teams home. The group stages will come to its conclusion in 3 games' time. We haven't got many games left. There is not a lot of points left for these teams to accumulate, Dan. It's scary time.
getting a little bit terrifying for these players. You can feel the nerves amongst the audience, amongst the players, amongst the coaches, amongst the casters, amongst the analysts. Everyone is just feeling it at the moment, and for good reason, because we will be sending 6 teams home. We know what that cutoff is right now. 65 points is what everyone is chasing, but all the meanwhile, teams are still trying to qualify for the top 15 mark. You're trying to get into those finals where we get match points, so there's a lot to play for right now.
It certainly is indeed. Remember, top 14 straight through to match point finals. For everybody else, you got to play a long day tomorrow to join them and have the opportunity to make the match point finals. But unfortunately, the real story here is who is going home. 6 teams will be eliminated today at the end of these 3 games, and the place it's all going to take place is Storm Point.
And the one team that is in that bottom 6 right now that is on the tip of everyone's tongues, Aurora. Can they do better here on Storm Point? They're at Sito Station. They prioritize this as their POI draft. Expect them to put points on the board here, but will it be enough?
Well, they've got an option to rotate nice and quickly from Sito, one of the most central POIs that is available here on Storm Point. So if they can't make the most of this, they've got to look themselves in the mirror, and they've really only got themselves to blame. JDG have started to come to life. It's been the story of some of the big teams coming back to life today, Dan, in this day of group play. The question is, can Aurora do the same, or are they going to be the first casualty?
A lot of the teams we thought were dead in the water have been able to have that one game to just put them in the comfort zone. Aurora need the same. One win here, suddenly it changes everything. It changes the narrative. It changes their confidence. Now, in terms of where we're going for zone, we're heading up to the northeast. Great news for the likes of Vision, PXX, and For Fun Esports, who can just be able to transition pretty quickly into this one. And then composition-wise, Mark, we are seeing a lot of Gibraltar, and for good reason. Gibby is going to be very important in this one, but what that does allow is Valkyrie going into match 5.
It certainly does indeed. Now, one thing to keep an eye on here is with the zone, Lightning Rod is going to be very, very busy, very, very early. Looking at where the finish could be, though, potentially on that hillside, actually between Stormcatcher and Elrod is where we could end up. So a lot of options for teams to play if they can get there early, but if you're arriving late, you are going to be relying on that Gibraltar-Newcastle combination to give you that cover to play.
Yeah, still 14 Valkyries, but not enough to get banned, which means she will be available for match 5. So expect to see a lot of skyward dives going into that last circle, or at least the second to last circle. For now, some of those teams who are further away can prioritize on looting and making sure they can get those evos up a little bit as well. But then you've got the early movers, the likes of JDG, the likes of For Fun, Vision, Zeta Division, also moving very fast from Zoo Station as well.
Well, it would be a little bit of a Cinderella story if Pirates managed to come back from the position they started the day in rock bottom, but they've got some work to do, and they've started off pretty well. 24 points from the 3 games. Confidence certainly on the up, because after yesterday's performance, it probably was about as low as you could get. But for Team Liquid, it's been a quiet start in this series as well. Now, they've done the majority of the work, but remember, even if you qualify for that match point finals in that top 14, where you place is going to affect your POI draft position. So they need to find some points here to give them the best POI draft and make sure they're comfortable in those finals.
Yeah, currently Liquid sitting in 4th in the overalls, which would be a pretty good position for the POI draft, but they have GG and AG Global both breathing down their necks, and maybe an outsider of Zeddy. There is a possibility that Liquid could drop as low as 7th after these games, and yeah, okay, you're still in a relatively good spot in terms of your POI draft, but not as good as being in the top 3, top 4.
AG, quite the way to go here. I think they've recognized that with where the zone is, they're probably not going to have the best of prio to it, so just taking time to make sure the Evos are as high as they can be on those shields, making sure the attachments are as juicy as they can be on those guns as well, before they try and force their way forward. Enter Force 36 with the team who are entering into the wall just ahead of them that you saw in that zip line. And then outside of the zone here, Trinity and Aurora taking a look at each other, and what an impactful fight this could be.
Effect was down, but has been picked back up. It was something I wanted to bring a little bit of an attention to as well. Effect throughout Split 1 was incredible. He was oftentimes bringing this team through, slaying out, being the top fragger on the team, and in the lobby at times. He has not found that same kind of consistency at this LAN yet. Is there too much pressure on his shoulders, and how is he going to deal with this pressure?
Well, it's an interesting composition that they're running here as well. Alta, Sparrow and Fuse. So when we talk about that zone and how open it can be, not really a lot of options for any legend cover from the abilities that are available for Aurora. So it's going to have to be brute force the way that they work their way into this zone. Hasn't started off great for them, like you mentioned. Already Effect was down, but he's been brought back up. And outside of the zone. Trinity still holding them on that high ground, so Aurora might have to think about just wrapping down to the south here.
The thing is, the Aurora of old, the Aurora we saw through the split, would happily take that fight, but they're a little bit worried now because they don't have that much time left with only 3 matches available. Anyway, PXX having to bubble here. JDG are going to be on the other side of this.
Yeah, a couple of bubbles going down. I think everyone should be safe. Knowing the third party is awaiting, you don't really want to be taking a fight, and even with PXX losing a player thanks to the triple take here of Blasts, you'd have to be a brave man and a brave team to want to push onto this if you're either JDG or GG giving up your spot.
Blast trying to hit the toes there with the triple take, just letting the rest of the teams know that GG are certainly present and in that area. It has been a slower series for Gaming Gladiators. As I was mentioning, they're in 5th at the moment in the overalls, but they also have a chance to push themselves up a little bit further for that POI draft. But JDG, first place in the series right now, started in the bottom 6 before we got into this. And they've secured their spot in the survival stage, but how far can they go? I'm not sure they're going to be able to have enough to get all the way to match point finals, but it's not impossible if they were to get a couple more wins.
Well, AG Global and Enter Force 36 are continuing to be a little bit too close for comfort, and I think we're about to get this engagement that we thought we might get a few moments ago. Gibiolt's going to go down. AG are forced to drop. Jizzle will get that knock. However, the motherload from the fuse of Yanya is going to make sure that that gets evened up. Obi wants this, though. He drops in with a massive. He gets absolutely deleted. And Sidep now, no Valkyrie to escape from here, so he's got to try and win this 1v1. Drops behind Niesel, jumps back up into the skies.
Brilliant.
But he's got to try and deny this res.
He dropped down just to initially deny the res, but he felt like he was at a little bit of a disadvantage. Now the bubbles come up. This is going to be so tough, but he re-engages once more, gets to a 1v1.
Yeah, that's the re-knock coming in, so it's still a 1v1. Knockdown shields being played with. Synap uses the missile swarm, but he's not connecting with many bodies here. He's just connecting with knockdowns, but the big shots, they're the ones that count. And it's going to be AG who win it. The clutch coming in from Niesel.
And Enter Force 36, a team who is very much at risk and vulnerable down towards the bottom of the leaderboards. They needed that fight. They're on 68 points at the moment, only 5 points ahead from those chasing teams who are in the bottom 6. So they're going to have to sit, wait, and hope some of those teams below them get eliminated thereafter, because they're the first team to go.
S8UL, excuse me, just moving out the front of Command Center at the moment, trying to work their way uphill towards where this zone is going to be going. Relove are in front of them. Grabbing that Evo Harvester means that it's going to be a little bit more comfortable for them to do, because they've got the purple perks available now, thanks to those armors being leveled up. Having that triple Gibby ult is going to be very, very important here for Jesco.
A few of these teams now just taking their time with this rotation. They don't need to rush. They know they are going to be beaten to a lot of the prioritized areas, but there are of course ring consoles, survey beacons you can hit on your way just to gain that extra little bit of information and hopefully make it a little bit more comfortable when you do arrive to that zone later on. S8UL just need to be aware that there could be a team in the area, so they're just scouting things out at the moment as we check back in with the Pirates. You said it, it would be quite something if they were able to find their way out of these elimination places. Not impossible. There is so many points still available here with 3 matches to be played.
S8UL did just go back into Command Center momentarily to hit the ring console. Oh my, shots. Nice. Gibby's still a big boy, even though he can move. Still a lot to hit. Interesting to see if S8UL actually try and take the high ground off of Dinos here. Around the Spider Cave outside of Command Center. In the meantime, Igarashi is down on his back. Nice. Fafafif with this longbow. He's giving them some openings here. However, it looks like Igarashi will be brought back to his feet. Newcastle does his job. And Trinity will continue on their rotate.
Trinity, who are in dead last at the moment, they can't afford to be going out early in these games. They need to have what feels like a miracle at this point if they are going to find themselves into that survival stage tomorrow. As we check back in now with AG, who are starting to approach onto GG here.
Well, Yagaris just blew blasts up. Yanya had already taken down Zane. And poor old Lufka is hanging behind the office desk trying to survive. And even though he gets one, GG will be eliminated. This is happening all the way over in Zeus Station, deep into zone. And with Nia's all brought back to his feet, they will have the opportunity to hit a survey beacon here, AG, and possibly hit the balloon that is over here on the north side of Zeus Station to catapult themselves into zone. However, it's very busy, and even that survey beacon, even though it'll tell them where everyone is, doesn't look like there's many places for them to go.
AG Global now send themselves up into third in the overalls, just with those 3 kills. That's how close it is in the top 5 of the overalls at the moment. And again, they have a fantastic chance to potentially finish second in the overalls, really, when you look at it, competing with SAUL to try and prioritize themselves in that POI draft. If you're unaware of what the POI draft is, by the way, if you're a newer viewer, the teams get to draft which POI they will be dropping at, which can be such an important factor to the ALGS.
Certainly can. Zipline Mafia, by the way, the perfect picture of the name of the team in that moment. All of them just in unison hitting that zip line to get up to the north. A little bit of a replay of some low shots coming in earlier. It didn't mean too much.
Let's check that place out.
As they did get that res momentarily. That's pretty much the most action we've actually seen outside of the POV of AG Global, who have been looking to take fights. Speaking of which, here is another fight, and hey, surprise, surprise, who's on the end of it? It's AG Global. They're running at everyone on this northern side.
And this is one of our top teams against one of our bottom teams. Is Trinity out in 18th place. It's more doom and gloom for them. They are getting closer and closer to elimination from the whole tournament right now, as AG just keep powering through. Speaking of elimination, Aurora down to just Hiaka now.
Hiaka on the Sparrow, inside of zone. This is not good for Aurora fans. Oirain's trying to sneak back to his teammate. And even though they can get one up potentially here, Effect is just a death box.
And maybe you can steal in, grab that banner, and then dip out the other way, but they very much got focused as they tried to wrap on this eastern side. It's Zeta Division who have eyes on them, and For Fun also joining in as PXX do get eliminated in that kill feed.
SAUL just getting punished in a corner here, having to play behind the mobile shield of the Newcastle. And coming behind them is going to be AG Global. They are confident, let me tell you that. They've already got a bunch of kills in this game. And if they see an opportunity to get some shots onto SAUL, then Jesco's going to have to hope that he can get that bubble down just at the right time.
Well, AG, it's
who's next?
On to the next one for them. Team Liquid seem to be in their sights, but also now this is just a good rotation as they start to get closer towards the northern side of this zone as well. And they're happy to take any fights, full of confidence right now. By the way, all the meanwhile, Aurora have been able to wrap round to the southern side as a duo, relocating. Don't know if they're going to get much of a chance to get back up to a 3 right now, unless they can find a crafter on their way, which there are crafters, but there are also teams in those areas as well.
So AG not quite safe as yet. And what's the next play for them? They slide down towards the cannon. On the bottom side of the hill, you can see Oirain and the remaining duo of Aurora. Now, these kind of moments, these kind of games, as a duo, sometimes something special happens. One thing that helps being a duo is when you've got a mobile respawn beacon and you've got Effect's banner, and all of a sudden, with 20 seconds left on the zone, Effect is going to rejoin Aurora. They still have so much work to do, but at least they can do it together. While all that was going down, Zipline Mafia were eliminated from the lobby. DCG know where Aurora are, and they just want to hold them out here.
Dog Red just arrived in the area as well from a Skyward Dive. So there could be 2 teams holding out Aurora, but you have to give credit to Hiaka grabbing the banner and being able to get his full team back up now. So they've at least given themselves a chance. And you might be wondering, you know, why are we focusing so much on Aurora?
Hiaka's down.
Aurora, one of the best performing EMEA teams that we had during Split 1. Effect, arguably the best fragger in the game, or one of the best fraggers in the game, and at the moment, they are struggling. They are in those elimination places.
And with the IGL down, and the fuse already used here by Oirain, what is the plan? Effect is having to squint because he's got absolutely no attachments, no sights on either of his weapons, and they are just being peppered, being held out. With 50 seconds left, it is looking like an absolute nightmare for Aurora in this game. Team Liquid to the skies, though. They will slam into this spot. The wall goes down, the bubble goes down as well, and they're able to stabilize here.
Have the Newcastle as well. That castle wall is going to be planted, I imagine, by both teams where possible if you stay up. Liquid get aggressive, they apply a lot of damage. For Fun desperately need to stabilize, and the gen gets ripped away from them. That's good pressure from Liquid.
Only problem is for Liquid that Zeta Division were looking to cross at them and not letting them push. Every time they tried to step up and capitalize on the damage that was done, they were the ones who went down. AG Global, finally, their run of terror has been ended, and it's going to be by Team Vision who get those kills. And Party coming in, though. It's going to be the Pirates.
Vision and Pirates, both in very different positions. Vision are chasing the top 14. Pirates are just trying to stay alive right now. But a huge fight nonetheless. That's if it even happens, as Oirain's just gone down in the kill feed as well.
Zidane bubbles forward. Aurora have been eliminated. 2 games to save the tournament for Aurora. 13 squads now remain. And every single step, every single movement, every single pull of the trigger, with just 2 games remaining, becomes more and more important to how these teams' day is going to end.
I mean, every fight matters right now, and as you say, every bullet feels like it's impactful. Whether you miss or hit, as Dog Red get eliminated on the south, they were held out by DCG.
It's about 3 or 4 teams up on this building. You've got Pirates, Team Vision, you've got Neo, and you've got Dinos all on top of each other. And with Zach Mazer down, Carter has a lot of work to do, but the double swing comes in from Neo. Lota, it's all up to you. Jumps back through the Void Passage, back behind the knockdown, but with just 10 HP, it's not enough to survive. Team Vision will be eliminated.
But they are on the cusp of top 14 at the moment. They put points on the board, that's what matters. As they chase a position in the match point finals. As now the bombardments start to come down, people starting to use those ultimates just to try and reposition, because you get desperate now. When we move from this next zone, there's no more buildings left available. It's going to be a lot down to those Gibraltars in the bubble just to give you a little bit of space.
DJ Killer threading the needle with that R9, but as you can see, they just can't push at the moment. Someone needs to leave this building. Or someone needs to take this fight. There's only 15 seconds left, and look how far they have to go. JDG, they will be eliminated next in the lobby as well. It's Zeddy Esports who take them down. The teams who are in best position right now for Fun, SAUL, and Team Liquid. Zeta Division also in a fantastic spot.
Yeah, for Fun's movement over to that eastern side has been huge for them. A massive chance to win this game. Their biggest problem is going to be Team Liquid. We look, though, at TIE right now, who are about to go up into the sky, assess the lay of the land, and they're going to notice that a lot of these positions they would have liked to have played have been taken already.
They're going to land right between For Fun and Team Liquid. Zeddy landing in a few moments' time as well. TLNM Pirates also up in the skies. A lot of teams taking the aerial route. Now, Neo, having done it latest, have the opportunity to see if there's a third party that they can land upon. Instead, it's going to have to be the low ground here. And they're going to have to get that bubble down nice and quickly. Look at the damage that they've taken, though. Liquid are holding strong on this high ground.
Liquid reluctant to commit, though. They're just going to wait for this bubble to pass, and they should be able to delete Neo relatively easily. They're just worried about the other teams to their east.
Breach charge goes in. Relove just been eliminated in the meantime. Neo are out next. Liquid pick up a couple of kills there. Panic will take home 2 as Zero finds another one. Liquid stays so healthy during that fight as well. Look at the bubbles, though, just popping up all over this zone. It's a great indication of how little cover there is to play.
I feel like I'm in a theme park with the amount of bubbles available right now, but you've just got to look at 8 teams make it 7 as Dinos get eliminated. TIE go down. We're down to 6 squads. There's not enough playable space. There's not enough cover for all of these teams to hold together. As Team Liquid still will hold the high ground here at the moment, but they are being pressured by 2.
Well, Pirates are leaving it all out there in these games. 3 games gone in this series. They've played the best Apex they have all tournament long, and now they're involved in the end game. One man who could change a team's fortune, though, is on your screen. Jelly has an infinite ammo Kraber, and one bullet changes maybe just the complete flow of this endgame if he can connect.
And with that latest kill from Team Liquid and the latest assist from Zero, that is his 1,000th career assist in the ALGS. Quite a big milestone to pass.
Legacy?
Legacy's position really important here for SAUL. He is closest to where this zone is going to end. And in the safest spot, and they are trained upon the position. of the Pirates. Sharky's going to take down Kaino, forces the bubble. Team taking up into the skies there. Didn't quite catch who that was. It's going to be Team Liquid. Actually with a late Valkyrie here to see where everyone's positioned. And to try and flush someone else. Pirates still alive, by the way. They are surviving, but by the barest of margins.
The barest of all margins. We've got 6 Gibraltars all available. It's going to be 6 bubbles. And actually, we might see a few more skyward dives because everyone knows once these bubbles go down, you have no cover.
Well, the Pirates are known usually for what they do on the sea, but this time it's going to be the skies that they go to as they hit the Valkyrie. For fun, trying to stop the Reds coming in from Zaya Division up on that high ground. Satuki and Yuka are down.
For fun are having a fantastic series, really flowing now. As we check back in with the Pirates. You haven't heard about Sky Pirates? I know full well they can do some damage.
Well, Nate should get the armor swap, but he's got to take down some bodies before he does so. Can he deny the Reds here from Zeddy Esports? For fun are down. Top 5, top 4. And Zeddy will fall, and the Pirates and Nate are making another run here.
And Nate can go up into the sky, avoids all the gunfire, and actually there's a position to play here. You can go unknown. No, you can't. SAUL, they do spot him.
Can he buy enough time, though, to get healthy? He's going to jet up into the skies, and that's going to be the end of the Pirates, but it's another good game for them. SAUL just down to Legacy here, as Team Liquid look like they're cleaning up the low ground.
Liquid have had this plan from the very start. It's been calculated and methodical, and now they just need to finish it off.
It's 3 versus 1 versus 1. Satuki down, Yuka down, Legacy, the solo alive for SAUL, and Mike the last player here to try and deny the clear win and the road to victory for Team Liquid.
Team Liquid will put another win on the board and another statement to put them up there as one of the favorites for this tournament. They send themselves up into 2nd place in the overalls. They want the best possible position in that POI draft. And I tell you what, there is an outside chance that they could catch Elite Esports. They would probably need 2 wins from this point. But again, not impossible.
Well, Zero looks like he's ready for a break. But if I'm him, I'm sitting in that chair and I ain't moving too far because the position and the execution from Team Liquid in those final moments and from the very start of the game was absolutely superb.
I mean, it's an exhausting one for an IGL. There's so much you have to keep tabs on. Some brave decisions made as well to sometimes hold their position, other times to say, look, if we skyward dive, we gain so much information over the rest of the lobby. We can reassess. And in that meantime, think of all the damage that's been done to some of the other teams as well. But huge points gained for so many teams that needed it in various different ways, whether they're looking to try and survive or whether they're looking to try and find a place in those match point finals.
And we're going to have to talk about it. It's an awkward conversation. It's a difficult conversation. But Aurora again fall. They really did not look comfortable. They tried to wrap on that eastern side, on the hillside towards the zone. They got caught out by Zeta Division, who are watching their back, and from there just weren't able to reset, weren't able to get comfortable. And they fall early in the lobby again. My question to you, have they left it too late here? Is there enough time for Aurora to get themselves out of this mess?
Judging by the composition we just saw, they're uncomfortable. They're not finding the points they would usually find. This is not a composition we would have seen in Split 1 when they are looking for points on Storm Point from Sito Station. That being said, it was a relatively difficult zone for them. If they get one that's a little bit more favorable, they are a team that can put big wins on the board, and they're going to need it. You heard what Graceful said. You need 30 points plus, really, to feel comfortable here, if not more. Aurora are capable of it, but listening to the interview from Effect, he said, look, it's our first time on land, things are a little bit shaky, and you can see it in the way they are playing. But they still have 2, and that's what's important.
Team Liquid looking like a championship-winning team right now, I have to say. The form that they're in, the way that they're fighting, and the way that Zero is calling zones and IGLing them into fantastic positions. It feels like they've got everything. The little bit of magic from Panic, the solid kind of control that Sykes is giving them on those anchored legends that he's playing. And like I said, the way that Zero is IGLing is absolutely superb. You really are seeing the best of Liquid and what you expected to see when this team came together.
They are all playing the best we've seen as a team. And whilst we've seen them play incredible on separate teams before, they've never really gelled like this in this way. And we knew it was coming. It felt like it was just a matter of time before we saw them at the top. And they really are putting all those pieces together as we look at some of those results. By the way, AG Global, they finished down in 15th, but they got 9 kill points. We saw the strategy they were employing, as they were pushing every team in their way. And as we look back at some of the highlights, I was saying how it was very important for some of these teams to find points, but we now have our second confirmed team eliminated from the competition. Team Heretics have fallen into that bottom 6, and remember, they've already finished all their games, so Team Heretics are out of the tournament.
A shame. Of course, we have to send these teams home. We've got 4 more spots, unfortunately, available for other teams to fill up, and unfortunately they're the ones you do not want to be in, because it means you'll be going home. This is the end game that we did see here. Zeta Division did such a good job, I will say, in a lot of those final moments, and I think great zone call again from them. One thing I've been very impressed about with Zeta is the fact that they've kind of adjusted from what we saw on day 1 to be a little bit more zone orientated as the tournament has continued. They've adapted well, and they've looked extremely good. Rain Day and Snipe Down are down on the floor. What did you take away from that previous game?
Well, thank you, gentlemen. It's hard not to take away another Team Liquid win. Top performers across almost every single day we've had at the group stage here at the ALGS Split 1 playoffs at EWC 26. Rain Day and Snipe Down. This is Green Room Talk on stage. Snipe, we've been watching these games. Obviously, we got to lead with another Team Liquid win. They're forcing us to talk about them. That's not been the characteristic over the course of this split, but on land, they have become a different beast.
Yeah, I mean, what better time to start catching your stride than right now? You have Zero, who's just been one of the most accolade IGLs in the world, and missing the last event. It sounds like he's got to come into this one, do twice as good, and get that first place. He's one of the only things that he's missing is that EWC title. And honestly, right now, I mean, we've seen the 2 most consistent teams are Liquid and Elite, and they are, you know, they haven't slowed down in any of these lobbies. Elite almost went 3 for 3 in winning every single one of their groups, and now Liquid's honestly in a similar situation where they're right at the top and just continuing that. So it's impressive to see how well these teams have done, and they're showing up when it matters most.
North America and EMEA have found the most success at the highest of levels in this lobby, but there are teams who have found not a lot of success. We've seen one already go home, that's Heretics, but we've got other teams like TLNP, Pirates, who actually are all French, featuring Zidane, a former championship winner with Hierarcha, who's also a member of Aurora. You would think maybe one of those teams would have the edge on the other, but they're both struggling a little bit, not quite safe yet. Talk to me a little bit about the struggles and on the bottom end for Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, TLMP was one of the bottom 3 teams. I think they came in today at 40th with mid-20s points. So for them to already be performing this well, they are in contention to make it out of that. I thought the bottom 3 was done for coming into today with just how these performances were and the continuation. I don't know if it's the Nasky effect, if it's the Zidane and having that, you know, championship IGL with you, but honestly, bringing in someone who has that ability to calm you down, bring in some laughs. We know he's a jokester, and we saw it when we were talking about it up top. Like, we looked at, you know, Aurora, who was just dead silent. They weren't really having comms. Then we looked at TLMP. They were laughing with. So for them, TLMP,
a former team, a lot of success done.
From what we saw has continued,
we got this. And right now, they are in a position to continue that on a couple more games with 5-6 points apiece, and they might be pushing that 70-point threshold, which is going to be right at the cutoff.
At least Nasky doesn't have them doing any shenanigans with the Tridents, because Tridents don't exist anymore in Apex, so we'll leave that one in the past. Good stuff, Nasty, for keeping the boys engaged as well. Let's talk and shift focus quickly before we get back into our games onto a teammate of, I guess, a teammate that said this about Duplex, underrated. This team, Zeddy, with Deeds, Duplex, obviously Jelly. They have been so good, and they found a way to kind of have that slow start turn into something that will allow them to continue in this tournament if they keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is another team with amazing vibes. I was talking to Jelly and Duplex a little bit yesterday. We were sitting in the stands together, and I mean, this was one of the most underrated teams. They were barely at the North American cutoff to make it here. I think they were one of the 11th or 12th seeds coming into this from America, so they were right there. And for them to be here, it's impressive. You know, Deeds is second place at last EWC, and for him to come here, be the only one from that roster still here, I'm sure there's a lot of experience that he can bring to them, and it's really cool to see them do that well. And now they're pushing to get into that top 14. They're really close to that cutoff, so we'll be watching that as we go forward.
Hopefully Deeds is also saying, guys, I know elimination is on the mind, but when you get second, There's a lot of good stuff that happens to your bank account when you are at EWC. So keeping the sights set on the prize, hopefully Deeds is helping the boys stay connected. All right, Snipe, thanks so much for the interview. And chat, we've got more games coming up. These two games, they're going to determine officially who stays and who goes home. So do not go anywhere. More Apex coming up.
And that Apex is going to continue right now as we head towards the next match on Stormpoint. Only 2 more games to go to save your tournament, or maybe solidify a position in tomorrow's or the grand finals, while match point finals, which is coming up, of course, on the final day here at EWC. Now, let's talk about cutoffs, Dan. Let's talk about points. This is where you do your best work, and I'm very excited for you to tell us exactly what number is the cutoff right now.
The cutoff is currently 67, and I'm sure the Zoomers will be excited for that one. But Kirasami Havoc, they find themselves in that spot. They're safe right now, but if one more team passes them, they will be eliminated from the competition as well, just as Heretics were, because they've already played all of their games. But one thing that does favour them, they are 10 points clear over any team that is currently playing at the moment. If we were to see Dog Red, Pirates, Aurora, and Trinity all fail for the next 2 games, Kirasami could still somehow scrape through.
So there's still a chance, is what you're saying.
There's always a chance.
I can feel the Zoomers bouncing, by the way, when you said the number.
I mean, judging by the players, we've had like 6 of them do 6-7s during media day, so maybe they were the ones bouncing.
That's true, that's true. Let's see if they can continue bouncing on our main stage, though, as we head in towards the next game. We're in the character selection screen. Interested to see what compositions are going to be run now, because we always see things get a little bit spicy when it comes to comps. Teams down at the bottom start to get a little bit desperate. We saw some interesting compositions being put together to try and be a little bit more aggressive from some teams, because they know, quite simply, they have to get points, and the best way to do that, the only way for them to do that, is to pick up some team wipes. We really are going to see some interesting things going together when it comes to comps, when it comes to team fights and aggression in this game number 5.
And a key factor to those compositions, there is no Gibraltar available. Gibraltar is banned after the pick rate that we saw in match 4. It does still mean Valkyrie is still available to take you up into the skies, but it's suddenly very difficult when you're landing if you don't have that bubble available. So the pick rate for Valkyrie will go down significantly here, but still expect lots of Newcastle available, maybe some Rampart to come in as a little bit of a replacement for Gibby.
No more cover for my brothers. We'll have to see who kind of fills that role. Newcastle might be able to do so. Watson starting to come to the fore as well. A little bit of Rampart, a little bit of Alta, and Fuse is also in the lobby. Pathfinder also. Great. There's a lot of different compositions, as we say, as we go into this game number 5, the penultimate game of the group stages. And we're starting off with Team Liquid, the winners of game number 4.
Oh, I love it when this happens, by the way. Newcastle is the most picked legend. So going into match 6, no Gibby, no Newcastle, which changes everything. Now, bang, there you go, Aurora. There is your chance to stay alive in this tournament. It is a great zone close to Sito Station. You can prioritize your movement fast. That being said, I am double-checking to see whether they have a ring console, because that does change things here. But are they going for a different composition? Yes, they are. It doesn't matter. They're going for Sparrow, Bangalore, and Alta here with their comp. So expect Aurora to be looking for fights rather so than hunkering down.
Yeah, interesting to see how they're actually going to play this one. It's a zone where they had Prio, but they don't know that they had Prio. So for Team Liquid, their reward for winning the previous game is Barometer being their POI, with the zone is coming right towards them. And we saw them making the most of some of those Barometer zones yesterday. Now Aurora. Is there something special in the waters of Stormpoint for them to take advantage of here?
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fans hoping so, especially those here in the region of EMEA in Europe. Some very popular players. And Aurora, this is an interesting decision. They are hunting Trinity. Trinity are the lowest team we have in the competition right now. Bottom of the barrel leaderboards. And Aurora were potentially looking to see whether they could pick up some free KP here. The other side is Dog Red, who are another team who are down in the bottom 6. So there is a clear game plan here for Aurora.
Over to Jurassic, center of Stormpoint for fun. 34 points on the board for them, so 5th place in this particular series. And look at the kill feed. Effect is down, Effect is finished. And with that, have Aurora's chances also been finished? They can head to Down Beast. There is a crafter there. But with the prio that they had from Cito, to then have to go to Mill, then have to go all the way to down Beast to get the res, oh, Aurora up against it, man.
And this is what I was saying when you asked me after match 4. They're not playing a composition to play the game in ways that we've seen them play the game. Sure, they didn't even have a ring console at Cito in the end, but typically they would have just moved and looked to, you know, play the game a little bit more normally. But they've gone for something left field, really, out of left field. They've tried to push teams that are a little bit weaker that they might think, and they've been punished for it because both teams sandwiched them in the end. They will be able to get him back up, but they're going to be late arrivals. So expect to see Aurora chasing down some teams as we check in now with Neo, who are currently being chased by AG Global. And we know that AG Global are relentless with their pushes sometimes.
AG Global thinking, hey, this has gone pretty well for us previously. This is the shot from Rohai.
Kadinga.
Boom. 97. And the Flesh starts to see it. Trinity looking for a Newcastle. What away! Hurts. Pretty sure the Newcastle did manage to hit that survey beacon, though, from Dogred over at Bean. Zone's getting very busy, though, down. A lot of teams already there.
Yeah, both Trinity and Dogred in desperate need of points as well. They probably wouldn't really want to fight each other. That being said, if you do win that engagement, you get one step closer. And Dogred said, yeah, we don't really fancy it. We've got enough information from our survey beacon.
In unicism, they're going up. Oh, DCG! Rest in peace. It's for fun. Who pick up those KP?
For fun on the hunt. They're trying to secure themselves in the match point finals, and even though they're a little bit off, again, still doable. They are 10 points off the cut at the moment. That is not unachievable in 2 matches by any means. On the other side, for Relove DCG, they're only 13 points ahead of the teams that are chasing them. So, again, it is another difficult position to find yourself in going into that match 6, because those 13 points can definitely be cut down here.
Rohai been a nuisance with this charge rifle. Just give a little check-in on where Aurora are, by the way. AG Global are over on the northern side of Checkpoint, which is where Aurora are trying to rotate to hit a ring console. This is what we're seeing right now. Now, do AG know they're there? Well, they will now, because the Sparrow Arrow is going to let them know that somebody's close.
Aurora looking to see if they can pick up anything here. Here's AG Global that they're chasing, and honestly, with how Aurora have been playing at the moment, they're not going to be confident about a fight, let alone are we going to be confident in watching them take said fight. And it almost just feels like they need one. And you know, I've been speaking a lot about Effect, right? But Hiark, a LAN champion, bear in mind. Potentially being eliminated in the group stages here at the ALGS Split 1 playoffs at EWC 2026.
We'll have to see if they can pull something out of the bag here. TIE down the low ground of Barometer, though. They're going to have the Watson fences up. Hold on to the Gen for now. Interested to see the position that Team Liquid did take, actually, dropping over here at Barometer. They're playing this most western hut that you can see at the top of the zip line. So they obviously believe that the zone is going to be pulling their way away from the main structure, where they played so successfully yesterday. Neo on the hunt here. This is a long way away from where the zone is going to be going. And it's AG on the other side of it, and even though you feel a bit stronger on that zip line, when everybody's shooting at you, even the zipline can't save you.
These could be some important kills for Neo as well. They're another one of these teams that are down towards the bottom of the leaderboards, outside of said elimination places right now, but certainly catchable. They want to try and create as much distance as possible, not just in this current situation, but also in the leaderboards as well. Yanya looks like he's going to be the player to just hold them off a little bit and allow the third to run away and escape. But Neo will be more than happy. An extra KP, they'll be delighted about.
They'll take it. That's another point on the board. You can't take that one away from them. And Ezel did manage to get out on the Pathfinder, which is always a good thing.
Question for you. Are you usually the player that puts your life on the line to allow your teammate to escape, or are you the one escaping, Mark?
I've already left.
I don't think that's actually true. You're the first to go down. I'm not
only after I killed 2.
Kill 2, where are you? Well, Vision, they are very close, by the way, to knocking Virtus Pro down into the survival stage. One more point for Vision, and they will find themselves currently in the top 40.
With Zeta Division, who are inside of the POI to their south, and they're just holding this hillside for the moment. Belgrade have tried to move into that hut and were very quickly eliminated by a combination of For Fun, Liquid, and Zeddy Esports. That was not a comfortable landing. That's what happens when Gibby is banned.
And that's great news for those teams who are outside those elimination places. It is one of our teams in the bottom 6, eliminated, not getting any points. And Dog Red still find themselves 10 points shy of that cutoff now. They have one more game to try and find enough points to stay alive.
Zeta now moving up, and they've actually taken the height away from where Team Vision were. Lotus going to get caught out here, and he's going to get taken down. Satuki and a combination of Yuka will do that damage, but here comes Zach Mason. Great shots with that alternator, the double tap going crazy. But there's the movement from Yuka. He's absolutely lost him, and Yuka makes this interesting. Carter reloads that R99, swings behind the knockdown shield. Can't quite connect, has to change to the Hemlock. Reloads the R9, Carter versus Yuka inside the Mesta. Is the knockdowns, he's firing blind. And he will win that fight, Carter will delete Zeta.
A huge fight to win for Vision. It puts them temporarily
Here comes Dinos
into that top 14, but now Dinos arrive. Carter, the priority is escaping. See if you can get away. Yes, you've banked those points. Yes, you're into the top 14, but you still want to go that one step further.
Zach has both hands up in the air. It's almost a cinema pose from him, but I don't think it is cinema. If Carter gets taken down, he's going to try desperately to hit this cannon to escape, and he just about manages to do so. But where is this landing? I tell you what, it looks like it's safe. Neo are playing the other side of the fence line in front of them. There is a crafter just up this hill. And Carter might have done enough to survive here for Vision.
And to be honest, I think I'm fairly certain with those kills, Vision may not even be able to be caught with the position they find themselves in that top 14. Of course, I'll leave that for the admins, but they are pretty safe at 109. It does put Virtus Pro down into that survival stage. Unlimited now would be the next at risk, and then after that would be Alliance. But I'm thinking that maybe Alliance might be okay at 108, but we will wait and see as we take a look at that zone and where it's going to be heading. Aurora have been able to find themselves on that western side, Mark. I mean, it's not a bad area, and if you look at their route in, it is Trinity that is waiting there for them.
Yeah, zone pool's going to be interesting. If it keeps going towards Team Liquid and that western side, and of course they made that zone call off of the fact they dropped a barometer, then Aurora might be on the quieter side of this zone. Now Carter's deep in zone right now, and he is being chased down. And from one cannon to the next, Carter is a human cannibal.
I mean, amazing, really, when you look at some of the positions these teams find themselves in and how every single fight
what is going on
matters so much as we're having a fight in zone between Neo and AG Global.
This is zone 3, by the way, so this hurts everybody involved. Neo are deep inside the zone, holding AG Global. AG Global are thinking, what's going on here then? After getting that reset after we saw initially, it was only Jaguares who managed to get away. And now with the zip line going down, you have to wonder if it will be the second time we see this fight ending in the same way.
It's just a silly fight to take, really, isn't it?
Very silly is how I would describe it. Yeah, you're quite right.
I mean, less to lose for AG Global and Neo. They're probably just thinking, we just need to put points on the board. So they're also just very eager to get involved in some fights as well, thinking that maybe they won't get the chance for points later on. It's For Fun in the kill feed once more.
Now the zone has to check in with Zeddy Esports, and Dupe is brought back to his feet. Jelly from behind the gen. That's Jelly's gen. Don't go near it.
You know, Zeddy have been going quietly about their business throughout this tournament. There is nothing quiet about this fight at the moment. They are more than happy to be aggressive in look to this KP, but they've walked into a Watson fence.
Never did that. Gonna send out the Kickstart drone here to try and survive. TXX trying to move in alongside Dinos here. It's a little bit of a mess at the bottom of Barometer. As XD has to slam the castle wall down just to try and get Peter back to his feet. Void Nexuses. There's guns with no bullets in them that need to be reloaded. There's Newcastle walls, there's DJ Killer. It's absolute chaos down at the bottom of barometer here.
It's chaos, it's carnage.
It's an infest.
In the result of it all, will anyone actually benefit from it? Because they may all just be scooped up by the last remaining team that comes on in to join these. This Dino, they port back. Maybe they can go back up.
Is everyone going to survive here?
Everyone may survive, but JDG not surviving. Neo are now getting aggressive onto them. They want the kills.
AG Global have been eliminated in the meantime. Neo now just down to 1. Naughty, caught off guard. Shubi, almost going to be taken down. Oh my, 1v2. But not enough to survive as Vision move in. Zeddy Esports also eliminated after Neo go down, but the zone is what I wanted to talk about. It's moved all the way to the northern side of barometer. Aurora now have a chance.
Neo do get kills on the board though. And even though Neo had previously left the ring to try and go kill Vision, then got killed by Vision, what's important was they got those 3 KP, which puts them into 30th position. Just creates that gap that I was talking about from the chasing team. Will give them a lot more security going into match 6. Now, there's the preview of the zone you were talking about. We head up northeast here. Pirates
have got a chance.
One of those buildings. Pirates, who currently sit in 36th position on 58 points, 9 points away from that cutoff.
And Paris will pop off if the Pirates manage to survive today after where they started off.
I mean, we have to give Paris something to cheer about today, right? Nothing else happening later.
You are a brave, brave man. A braver man than I.
Check back in with their journey at the moment. It's been a quiet one in this game, but most importantly, they are still alive, which again leaves a chance. They're on the northwestern side as S8UL. 43 points right now in this series, and they are flying. They're in 3rd place in the overalls as well. What a tournament it's been for S8UL.
Yeah.
Let's say Aurora have a chance. They still have a lot to do. Now, they are close to zone. A lot of the teams that are on the Barrow side will take each other down. There are some Valkyrie ults that will be being hit right now to try and get closer to zone. But what do Aurora do from this position? For Fun Esports, just been eliminated in the meantime. It's now 8 teams will be in the spectate screen watching what takes place in these final moments. Round 4 is closing, 30 seconds left on it. TIE will fall next.
TIE go down, but they're in a relatively safe position at the moment as now Aurora start to move a little bit closer towards zone. They have found a rock that they can play around here.
I think they're trying to pinch Zipline Mafia with Team Vision. 2 teams staring at them.
That's a lot of damage.
Get these KP, but it's Vision who are picking them up. The points aren't going to Aurora. Unless they can get one, but they don't even get that. I think actually, excuse me, Oirain did get 1 point. But now he's got to retreat back to his teammate with no smokes available. He's got to do it the old-fashioned way.
Even though they didn't get the kills, just 1 as you mentioned, I think the important thing was they eliminated a team that is ahead of them. That is a position they could play as they try and continue their rotation. And they are putting more placements on the board as well as we get into the top 10 now. It's 1 extra placement point gained from the previous that they had.
Bro high in his charge rifle, still rattling them off from high ground.
I mean, I love the position for both Trinity and Pirates, by the way. 2 teams in that bottom 6. As E36, they've spotted out the likes of Aurora and Team Vision here are both a little bit vulnerable with where they currently reside.
Well, this man knows how to win a LAN. Obli on your screen. A huge moment for APAC North when he was able to lift that trophy. Some time it feels ago now. S8UL now moving up as Dinos will be eliminated. And they've got to make their way a little bit closer to zone as that northern pool continues here. GG weak inside of the building, and now the swing comes in from Legacy. Beautiful stuff. GG eliminated. Half the lobby is gone, 8 squads remaining, and now Legacy's got an infinite ammo craver to play with.
It's a race to second in the overall.
Here comes Aurora.
Between S8UL and Liquid at the moment, as Aurora about to enter a huge fight for their chances.
Well, E36 took a lot of damage, and I think they sense this. They want to try and push. They want to try and flush them away from this position. But you can see in the movement here of Oirain that they are a little bit nervous. They can't overcommit. They know that even if they get kills, if they take damage and it's not clean, then their game could be over.
It's a must-win fight, but E36 are retreating. They're playing zone, and now suddenly, with the castle wall going down, Aurora might get held out here, but Effect gets an opener. They needed it.
S8UL look down onto end of Force 36 and clear the threat. Now be S8UL looking out as Oirain will go down. Effect does make the cross though. They are safe in this corner, but SAUL will be able to look down upon them. But can they stick the res here? Oirain has got close enough to his two teammates that they could drop him an armor here if they wanted to, and Oirain will be back in this fight. Aurora survive! And boy, did they need to.
SAUL, they got distracted by Liquid. I think Liquid saved Aurora's life there without even knowing. And Aurora now able to loot up as well off the death boxes of E36.
Team Vision have so much space though, as we jump in with them. Everybody else in the lobby is ahead of them, in and around that main building. So they can just bide their time. They can wait and walk this in if they need to. 3 Valkyries left in the lobby as well for some skyward dive action if needed.
Five teams, make it 6 teams on this southern side, by the way. As you mentioned, Vision, they hold the entire north. I've also got confirmation with the kills Vision have found and the points. They are mathematically through to match point finals as well. As Zach Mazer's taking a little poke towards Aurora. And he's pinging as well. He's notifying the rest of the team that there is a vulnerable squad on this right-hand side. It's the last thing Aurora want.
He's taking the Void Nexus to join his teammates a little bit closer to the zone, I think, here, Zach, in a few moments' time, and indeed he does. So Vision now as a 3 on the outside of this structure. Now, Aurora, the good news for them is that everyone in that building has to leave, has to take care of each other, and may fall into their sightlines. Now, there's not a lot of KP picked up by Aurora, but from where they were, they're involved in an endgame. PXX eliminated. 6 squads now remain. Bangkok could go a little bit crazy in the endgame as well.
Legacy's hitting shots as well with that Krabi. Aurora, they just need placement points. Team Liquid have a difficult push out here, but I love this at the moment. Use that gen in the wall just to give you a little bit of cover. The shield's going to protect them as well.
Panic also. Barely any ammo left in that Prowler. But it might be enough to start the fight and invite Vision to collapse in behind SAUL. They are going to pick up some of these kills. Beautiful shots coming in from Cup as Vision 2 control the most space in this lobby and in this game. Start to fight. Trinity are gone. Aurora still alive. It's all up to Effecto. He's only got around 20 HP. He's bouncing through the portals. Aurora dead, but it's a top 3. Now over to Visions to clean this up. Liquid have members down. Zero's the last man standing. It's not back-to-back for Liquid because it's time for Team Vision to celebrate.
Team Vision are going to the match point finals. The question is now, how high up can they get in that POI draft? They're in 4th position in the overalls. They've caught the likes of SAUL and Team Liquid to make this very interesting going into match 6. And all the meanwhile, Aurora's top 3 puts them 2 points away from that cutoff. Wow. Pirates, their top 5 puts them 7 points away from the cutoff. The teams that were down and out have given themselves the best opportunity they could have going into match 6.
And with that win, it's the first win of the tournament for Team Vision. And there was a moment in that game, remember, where we saw Zach's hands go up. The cinema moment. Maybe he saw the future. Maybe he saw exactly what was going to happen in that moment. Let's think about the fact that they were down to a solo a few times. Carter had to perform some gymnastics across cannons to keep them in that game. But I think we just got proven to us in Apex Legends, even at this level, if you can stay in the game, you give yourself a chance. Vision win it, Aurora get top 3, who at one point, both those teams looked out of it.
And when your backs are against the wall, quite literally with Aurora, they played it smart, they played it intelligently, they just looked for placement points. They just have to crawl over this finish line. It doesn't matter how they get over it as long as they get those points on the board. But it was Vision who, as you quite rightly mentioned, from just a solo at one point to getting back up and then dominating the zone, manipulating that final circle in whatever they wanted. They were bullying teams on the right, on the left. They just made sure they were the last team standing on the north.
So the boys on Team Vision get that win and, like you say, solidify their position in match point finals. They can afford to have a little bit of a feet up moment tomorrow. as they watch the Apex Legends continue with teams trying to join them. Team Vision fans feeling very good about it. Why wouldn't you? That magic number, by the way, that was on that banner there, 67, is still the cutoff point.
It is still the cutoff point. Kirasami Havoc, as it stands, are still going into the survival stage, but the chasing pack are getting very, very close indeed. There's those 19 kill points that Vision were able to pick up to make a 31-point game. But it's there in number 3, Aurora. They get 10 points. As it stands, they only need 3 more. But that being said, there are still teams behind them, so they would potentially need even more than that, depending on how it goes. But for some of the other teams down in the bottom, the likes of Dog Red, for example, they got eliminated early. DCG got eliminated early. They're still in a dangerous situation as well. But one other story that is developing for Fun Esports, they find themselves on 101 points, 5 points away from making match point finals as it stands. Bear in mind, at the start of this, for Fun Esports, they were just hoping to get through to the survival stage, and now they have an opportunity to guarantee match point finals.
And TLM Pirates, the hometown favorites, have given themselves a chance. And is that going to be one of the keys that gets crushed, or will the Aurora key survive another day here? Man, we always get to these points in the tournament, and it's like, I look at the leaderboards, I'm like, how's there one game left? And like, how have we got to this point again? Where the stakes are so high, where the tension is so high, we've always got someone who shouldn't be there, who is there.
And honestly,
I just don't know what's going to happen.
How high the points total is to get into that survival stage as well. I think Snipedown was talking about it on the desk, or metaphorical desk. It's just so tight at the moment, the competition here in this tournament. You think back to yesterday's games, actually, even the games we had today in the previous series set, we had 3 teams tied in first place.
Yes.
For goodness sake, that's how close it was. This meta has allowed so many teams to catch up and close that gap with some of the best.
One thing to highlight here is legend bans. Newcastle is the next legend to be banned. Now, Valkyrie is still here. Has made it through to Game 6, but the legends that are banned, if you're joining us, Crypto, Seer, Mad Maggie, Gibraltar and Newcastle. Now, giving Newcastle, we know kind of the staple when we get to the later ends of these series. We're giving you that cover, but now with the 2 most defensive legends out of the lobby, there's going to be some guns up big moments. Big team fights won by good aim. And I'm excited to see which teams kind of have the nerve to take them. Have the nerve to really push the advantages when they present themselves. Because if you're in an elimination spot right now, the idea of taking a fight is not just taking a fight for the KP now. It's your tournament can be over if the fight does not go your way.
And realistically, there's only one team who has to play some crazy aggressive comp, and that is Trinity. Now, this is the lay of the land. This is the top 10. These 10 teams will be going to match point finals as it stands, and realistically are pretty much guaranteed with Zeta Division 117.
Why couldn't Ellie get 1 more point? That's really bugging me, by the way.
Well, maybe Liquid can catch them up and surpass them. You know, if Liquid have a 35-point game, suddenly they're on 200 and they get first place in the POI draft. And SAUL, with the way they're playing at the moment, I wouldn't put it past them to find a 40 bomb. So there is still potential for it to change at the top. But then it starts to get interesting as we move over to the second page. Remember, that cutoff is at 14th position.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Unlimit hold 14th place at 106. Virtus Pro are now down in the survival stage because they're not playing. They won't be at match point finals. But then we look at For Fun Esports, the only team that's left on that screen who is still playing and chasing at 101. They could push Unlimit down. Now, these are all the teams that are going to be in the survival stage, and there are a couple that are still chasing for that top 14 as well. Most likely, we're going to need to see something absolutely miraculous from them if they are going to find themselves in the match point finals. Not impossible, but down at the bottom,
this is the scary part, right?
74 points for them.
This page is, yeah.
This is where it gets
That's the cutoff. Like we say, Kirasami Havoc right now, 67 points. 66, 65, 60, 57, 43, 31. We know that Dory and Trinity, unfortunately, are already eliminated from the tournament, but there's still a lot to be decided in this final game of Apex Legends in the group stage. We'll find out what happens in just a few moments' time. We're going to go for a quick break. Match number 6, the final match of the group stage, comes up after this.
We book Esports World Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are fast approaching the last game of the group stage. So let's set the stakes, Luti. I'm going to kick things off by saying 4 of the bottom 6 teams who will be eliminated today are currently playing on stage. Only a handful of points required to make it into the survival stage for some of those teams. So this match, it literally is all on the line. We have a few in the bubble, which means coming out of the survival stage into that top bracket, getting into the finals on Saturday. But it's all to play for, Luti.
Et ouais, il l'a dit, mesdames et messieurs, Barney vient de l'expliquer. 4 équipes peuvent tout simplement être éliminées, mais elles peuvent également remonter. Et les Français peuvent le faire. Est-ce que vous y croyez? So I'm gonna ask to everybody, please, ladies and gentlemen, for our last game of this group stage, make some noise! Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do for the clapping, bro.
Are we gonna do it one more time? Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, as we throw into our final map of the day, one last time, make some noise! It's all on the
Let's
line.
go!
Well, here we go then, everybody. The final game of the group stages. We will confirm who's going through the match point finals and who is going home. Who will be back tomorrow for the survival stage and who is going to have some hearts broken down. This is it. Storm Point is where we go for one more game and one more chance to save your tournament if you're sat in that bottom 6.
I'm sure there's so many teams and players that are nervous at the moment, and also a lot of players who I'm sure are very excited for this game as well, because they've already secured their spot and now a chance to show what they're made of and try and improve their position in said POI draft. Vision being one of them. This has been their best series so far in this tournament. We knew they were capable of this, and now they're putting on a show.
Well, the zone is always our first talking point, and we're going up to the north. This is an interesting one. We're going out towards North Pad by the looks of things. Maybe for a little trenches zone, Dan. I know you're a big fan of them. It's your personal favorite.
I do love a trench finish. I don't know why, it's just a little bit down and dirty, isn't it? But maybe perfect for the likes of AG Global and Dinos, as they can take some of those northern positions, which are very difficult to take off of them once they find them. And as a reminder, our 4 teams that are currently in the bottom 6 that are still fighting for their life, if they die, they will be out. Aurora, Pirates, Dog Red, and Trinity, unless, of course, they put enough points on the board before they go down.
And there's still a very good chance of doing so. It is so close at the bottom. For Trinity, well, their tournament is essentially over. 96 points so far from these 5 games, and with Rohai on his back and Zipline Mafia chasing them down, there might be a sour taste left in their mouth here.
Trinity would need a win, and quite a big one as well. And whilst it is not impossible, as Mark's alluding to, with one player already down, it's not looking great. But I think that, again, there is going to be an escape artist here. Get one away to get rezzed back up onto your feet.
Well, guess who's coming to have a look at this? The team who moved from Sito Station in the previous game towards Mill are back again. It's Aurora who are looking to move up on third party, but they've actually taken a fair bit of damage here. And Dog Red is still very, very healthy in this. Now, I wonder if Aurora are going to disengage. It looks like they have actually just moved away ever so slightly. As For Fun Esports will be eliminated. That is big, Dan.
It is big. It means they will not be progressing to match point finals. They are guaranteed, though, to be in the survival stage tomorrow. But they only needed 5, as another team will be guaranteed out of this tournament. Trinity eliminated. Neo go down as well. Neo probably okay at 74 points, but it's going to be a very nervy finish in this match 6 for them. As for Aurora, it is more points on the board. They now find themselves 1 point behind the cutoff.
1 point confirmed as well with that kill.
Oh.
Over towards a little bit further away from the zone.
Legacy.
Where we're going to find ourselves some Pirates. Another team who have really given it everything today, Dan. A scary moment for them coming into today with the position they found themselves in after a couple of lax days, but you can't argue that they've put it together when it mattered. It's just, did they leave it too late? They're over a pylon here. They've got SAUL above them. ZE Esports also looking at this. I think Pirates recognize that they've got to leave here.
And that's where it becomes interesting as well. It's not as simple for Aurora of just finding that 1 point, because if they found 1 point and died, a team like Pirates, if they found 7, suddenly both teams then would be on a tiebreaker. So Pirates are not that far away. 7th place, 39 points. They have been fantastic in this series. But I think you are quite right. You're going to be kicking yourselves later if you don't qualify, if you don't stay alive, saying, could we have just done a little bit more on day 1 and 2?
So difficult to predict how teams are going to play in this kind of a lobby as well, with desperation becoming a factor. Zipline Mafia going to lose excuse here. Dog Red will find 1 KP. As we look at how For Fun were eliminated a little bit earlier in this game. Now, like you mentioned, it means they won't make match point finals. They were very close to doing so, but they are still alive. Now, Nate has taken damage. Zidane, he's broken as well, and Nate is down.
Oh,
Zidane unable to connect with any of those longbow shots as well, so it has to be turning into a retreat. Had he hit a couple, maybe got a knock, you can potentially engage. They do have Skyward Dive available, so they have got their get out of jail free card, of course. And they need to start planning how they get Nate back on his feet to try and find those points they so desperately need to get into that survival stage.
Just looking at crafting opportunities for them. Cito has one, the Mill has one as well, so there are places that they can plan their rotation to get Nate back into the game, but the fact that they're still on white armor is somewhat of a concern. Although this Evo Harvester might help them change that. Over to Dog Red then. Back to the Mill, where it seems like a lot of action has taken place.
Still not impossible for Dog Red to get out of these elimination spots as well. They are very much a focus, especially if they can find some KP on their route. I also do want to touch on the fact that Aurora are playing a more defensive lineup in their composition as well. Catalyst comes into the fray. They will be able to hit ring consoles. They can assess that situation and play for zone, and I think that's kind of what they're doing. At the moment, they're on the northwest side of the map. As Zipline Mafia will have to move here. The question is, do they engage with Dog Red, who were down to their south?
Looks like Dog Red are heading towards Cito Station, so both teams should be pretty safe. Over to where the zone is more likely going to be ending, though, and you've got E36 and Zeta Division sharing a couple of these eggshells. So standoff between the two. And Yuka is not moving.
Yuko unfortunately losing that 1v1 in the previous game as well. It's not often you see it happen. There's a lot of
some rats
ambushing happening at the moment.
We've got some
would be onto DCG if they can catch them.
भाई मत कर ऐसा है भाई.
DCG, some cheese under this box.
भाई क्या कर रहा है?
Come and get it.
पिपी लग जाएगा. कैम कर रहा.
Come on. Do they know? They're going to know now. Kickstarter drone goes in. Roy might be the unfortunate one who really does get hurt here. The rat play works perfectly. And those shots with a native from Jelly are pretty good as well.
This could be so detrimental for DCG as well. They are only just outside of those elimination spots, may I add. They do get one on the board, though. And the Nexus will be opened. An escape route has been found. And survival is a must here for DCG. Even if they just put a couple of placement points on the board in this game, they just want to stay out of reach of those that are chasing like Aurora and Pirates.
AG Global just been eliminated in the meantime. Their job is done though. They were pretty secure in match point finals. So the heavy lifting has been done. They'll be able to watch all of the teams sweat it out in the survival stage tomorrow. Look at Jelly. Look at Jelly. Jelly's chasing them down. Jelly's chasing them down. And DCG will fall.
We are in trouble. A lot of our elimination teams and those who are closer on the struggle bus right now. Zipline Mafia will take down 2. Zidane knows that their tournament lives are quite literally on his shoulders right now. Thankfully, he is Valkyrie.
Oh, it's only blue. He's going to go up nice and slowly. He's spinning. He's holding his breath. And the zone is also chipping away. Zidane with the hopes of France on his shoulders threads the needle. But on the other side of this joke, S8UL are there. But do they know?
I think so. I think they saw the Valkyrie coming in. We'll check back in a little bit later. Now. Of course, another one of our teams in those elimination spots. It's a must-win fight for Dog Red, and they've got the opener.
Uma Chandler is down. F-Chan, he's going to follow him by the looks of things. One bullet, that'll do it. Get that reload, and yes, TIE are eliminated, and Dog Red get the points.
Are we going to see a late Dog Red resurgence here?
Zidane. Just looking at the backpack here, trying to see if what meds he's got available. He does have an ALGS cell. But is he going to get to use it here? He's getting chipped away at again. It's Zipline Mafia once more who are in behind him. If he survives this on his loadout, SAUL actually might help him out of this situation, looking back at Zipline Mafia. But his heart must be in his mouth right now.
SAUL are going to hear the little tippy taps below them from the Valkyrie of Zidane, but you are completely right. Zipline Mafia, they will probably distract SAUL from Zidane, who somehow, some way, scarpers through and survives.
There's no crafter though. He's going to have to like counter-rotate essentially to get out of this game. We'll take a look back on the rat play that we saw a few moments ago. Zidane's being hunted once again, but he's going to be pretty comfortable with this situation now because it's happened for the majority of the game. He's still alive here, Zidane. Oh, that med kit's going to be big. Means he can spend a little bit more time in zone here. There's an evac, there's a Moby. There's a Phoenix kit down there as well. 85% on the next Valcolt for him, which will get him back to zone. This is terrifying if you're a tail-end Pirates fan.
You're going deep for a crafter.
Don't miss time a med kit at this point.
Can the Pirates survive? That's where the zone's going to be heading. Dinos are pretty much bang center. Liquid have also set up very successfully as well. As Pirates now have found their crafter. It's literally last chance saloon now here for Zidane and the rest of the squad.
It's not a mirage.
Nice.
It's an oasis. They get the banners. They get the res, and Zidane still, by the way, has Valcolt, so he can get them into zone. Now, Dog Red continuing their reign of terror here. It's Duplex who gets caught off guard.
Dog Red on the chase. They are now 3 points away from the cutoff. As both Dog Red and Pirates are hunting.
Shit!
But they still cannot afford to go down. They are not quite there yet, but now here is Eddie. They've got the opening knock, but it's a 2v2 now.
Deep's down to 1 HP. He's going to be down. Last player alive is inside of that building. Kickstart drone is going to be chasing. And Jelly has a chance to climb. Jelly in a 1v1. Killer Post has to be careful. Jumps back with a tap stream. Zeddy Esports, get out of there.
Now you need to stay alive. As Dog Red are trying their best to stay in this tournament, but now Zipline Mafia here to try and ruin their day.
Zipline Mafia, Legacy
just 1 point short of that cutoff.
What the fuck?
As SAUL also go down. Vision on top yet again here.
हो गया चैट हो गया
And that means Dog Red's
GG.
tournament is done. Another team
GG.
guaranteed to be
मिलते हैं
out, and
final के
another
watch
key that
party
will be crushed.
GG versus
हो
Zipline
गया
Mafia, and it's looking.
ये क्या बोलते
Most job seekers are wasting their time applying online, cold emailing recruiters and
अरे
chasing
हाँ
referrals.
ठीक है
Trying to work their way through this choke down towards zone. They actually played at such a fast pace. Lots of fights on edge, lots of teams desperate for points. Means there's space in zone, 11 squads remaining.
Setting up shop or setting up ship. The Pirates are still alive. 6 points away from that
चलो
cutoff.
चलो मिलते पीस आउट बाय बाय गुड नाइट हो गया जीजी अपना